Let's see if you're comfortable to come on the cam to say hello. Meantime, let me check out anyone in YouTube. All right, good agile morning. Do anyone feel that recent days too much of talk about the word agile? More than needed? Some part of the world, what happens is if a new topic comes in, everyone will get into that. Mom, dad, grandmother, milk vendor, everyone will be in the same topic. Okay, so milk vendor will tell, let's go agile. We'll feel, wow, you too, you too, Brutus. Okay, so that's how life goes. The competition is very high all over the world of learning, growing, and getting growth of things, which was not there for 100 years back. People live their life in their way. On top of that, they may not know what is happening all over the world. They know what happens in their country, on the town, and live accordingly. Now, what happens is with the internet boom, we come to know what is happening in other part of the world within a few seconds. And it's also becoming a big good thing, also sometimes pressure on us that you have to keep learning. Good morning to all. Let's kickstart one good learning called Agile, which is of PMI-ACP. What ACP stands for? Do anyone aware of it? Assistant Commissioner of Police. Somebody asked me, what is ACP, man?
Agile Certified Practitioner.
Agile Certified Practitioner. Very good. Is there any difference between a practitioner and professional? Is there any difference? Because there is a certificate called PMP, Project Management Professional. Is there any difference between both of them? Should be, right? Should be. Do anyone just Google and tell me what is the difference between professional and practice? Meantime, we keep going on. All right, let's move on. Do you know the difference today?
As per me, when you say professional, you have some expertise on that. When you say practitioner, either it would be entry level or beginner level, or you have some knowledge, but at the same time you are learning.
Learning. Okay, that's a good thing, right? Learning. You're practicing something which you have learned. You are exhibiting what you learned. Isn't it? Can we take like that? Nice. Good to say. Thanks for that, Tamra Kumar. Yeah. So point here is what you're going to learn today and going for a few weeks is it's called PMI-ACP, which is about a practitioner. So you're going to learn some concepts called agile methodologies or framework or agile mindset, and you're going to apply this in our corporate job. You may be from an industry which is already matured in agile, or you may be in an industry where they don't even know agile. There are many places in a company, if you go and tell agile, they ask whether it's any eatable or is it a new bird in Amazon forest. There are days I have answered these questions. I'm talking in 2008. I believe there was someone traveled to US where I had to meet some people. These people, their experience will be your age. Such people are there. They work at the age of 18 and started working for a long time. I was communicating to them, there is something called Agile. We can use it. They said, what is it? I said, eatable. Is it something, any component? Then if you even explain, they don't get it. Same applies even today. Even today, there are many people who may not get the clue what is Agile. So let's learn these concepts and get expertise on this. You may be from different industry. However, it is market demand now is you should have the word Agile in your resume. Is it so? whether you really apply, that's a different story. First, your resume should know there is something called Agile. I am a servant leader. I know the basic concepts of it. This has been a basic ask, right? We'll do this. All right, first let's see everyone here. Yeah, we have a bunch of people. Before we get in, is there any basic question even before we start the class? Meantime, I pull out the content for the class. Do anyone have a basic question?
I have one.
Sure, please go ahead.
Yes, so we have something called as a certified Scrum course.
Very good. Yeah.
And a professional Scrum course, and then ACP.
Yeah.
Is there any subtle difference between all those, or all the three revolves around the same globe?
That's a good question. When you say certified Scrum, professional Scrum, do you see a word Scrum there?
Correct.
Right, very good. So if you go to the Agile, Agile is a concept which was derived in the year 2001. Even before 2001, Scrum exists. Okay, even before 2001, some other methods like Kanban exist. There is something called lean concepts, crystal methodology, extreme programming. There are a few more are there. DDDV, or I talked about test-driven development. Few methods are available. Now, what happened is Agile concept is a big bubble. You can consider it a big bubble. In this, there are small bubbles inside this. Now, Agile, when you say Agile certified practitioner, you become a good, knowledgeable person in the methods, whatever I say. All the methods. On top of that, there is something called leadership. The leadership in Agile is not highly discussed. When you go and lead the books of Agile or a Scrum, there will be a discussion only for the team members. As a team member, what they have to do. As a group of 8 people, what they have to do. They start with the small level. What do you do there? That's it. What will happen to the project manager? What will happen to the program manager? What will happen to the whole segment of leadership model? It's not highly discussed. Now, answer your question. PMI-ACP takes this, and PMI-ACP will explain about Scrum, Kanban, extreme programming, crystal, lean method. On top of that, Agile leadership. On top of that, there is something called value-driven delivery. Right? So now this explains broader concepts very well. A person learning PMI-ACP becomes a guy who can talk different methods, different framework, and also leadership in Agile after you complete this. Now, the next part of your question is CSM or PSM. Those are beautiful certificate, which explains a depth of one framework called Scrum. So it will go and explain it properly, very well. So if you're going to apply for a job as a Scrum Master, it is highly recommended you will have CSM or PSM with you. If you're going to apply Scrum Master plus a manager role, I will also handle the appraisal cycle of the team. I will also form the team towards a common goal. I will be the person who is responsible for the team's growth. If your company is looking such kind of job description, only CSM will not help you. So you should have this addition to that. As I worked for some years, I don't remember the day when we recruited a person only as a Scrum Master. We recruit a person when they say come with 8 years, 12 years of experience. We'll ask them, do you know Scrum? Of course, Scrum is highly used in the market. Also, we will check with them, do you know how to handle a team? Have you done the appraisal cycle? Have you encouraged your team? Do you know conflict management? This will not be there in Scrum certification. Scrum will focus only on their methods. That is stuff. So if you ask me the question, do I need to do any of them? I will say do all of them. So depends on your pocket money as well. Because each certification comes with a cost. So you have to bear that. Okay, hope I answered the question. All right.
Yes.
All right. Good. Let's get in. So I'm seeing some of them in the camp. Thanks a lot for people in the camp. Let's say wave hands. Hello, everyone. Thanks for being in the camp. Right. I can see Rupal, Anita, Sibraman. Yeah. I can see a few more there. Abdul Rahim. Pretty early morning. How do you got up? Okay. Okay. Abdul is there. Raghavendra. Nice to see. Vinod, San Francisco. Nice to see. All right, good. What we'll do is we will kickstart the content. Some of them are from PMP certification. First, thanks a lot. You took the big effort of clearing PMP and getting into the next step here. Anyone here PMP certified recently or 1 month before? Sivaram. Okay. Kishan. Okay. Kush. Okay. Anita. Okay. Gavendra. Okay. There are a bunch of people from PMP certification. See, what happened is when I take 3-4 years back classes of PMP, with a proper division was there. PMP means totally into predicted model, little agile where they're not much into. They don't even want to get into ACP. They don't even bother. Who the hell, man? That's ACP is for only IT guys. Okay. Now, what happened is from 2020, now addition has happened. In PMP, they injected more Agile. While Red Agile, they felt that already I've done 50% of Agile here. Why don't I do ACP also? It's something like A.R. Rahman winning 2 Oscar awards. He went for one, they gave him 2. So they feel, wow, that's cool, man. So now many people come here saying that I did PMP, let me do ACP also. It's really good. At the same time, having a PMP certificate and a PMI-ACP certificate, that is 2 PMI Institute certificate, is a good brand in your paper. I think Sivaraman was asking me CSM, PSM, those are really good, but anyone can achieve. But ACP, only you can achieve. Okay, we have hundreds of people in the world trying for this, but many don't achieve this. It needs some effort. It needs some energy. This energy, either you are just starting with ACP now, or you've already done with the PMP. You know how to run, you know how to win. You're going to apply the same formula here, and it's going to succeed. That's a game. All right. Okay. You're free to put your cam and mic off mode. Let's get on the content. Meantime, if you have a questions, feel free to ask. They will kickstart. Rupal says 50% more to go. Yes, Rupal, I will make it happen. Where is the content? Here it is. That's good. A quick confirmation to kickstart. Audio, video, screen share. All 3 are good.
Yes.
People in the YouTube, are you getting it comfortably? Okay, if everyone is good, let's get on. Let me quickly check the YouTube people as well. Today we are streaming live so that people can get benefit out of this. All right. Okay. All good. So in this Zoom, I believe you are aware that there is something called side-by-side speaker view. Click that option. So you get one portion which will be a slides, other portion will be the speaker talking to you. Okay, that way it's good. You can put your cam off mode so that when needed, it will come back. First, welcome you all to ShriLearning, where we have a good set of programs and also a good set of initiatives to help each other to move forward in your corporate life. One of that is the PMP, other could be of Agile certifications. Also, we have some free sessions keep running on regularly. This could be for Agile, this could be for scaled Agile, some question answer sessions. One other thing keep happening. So stay associated, we will keep learning more. So what are there in the certification market? Some of you may be aware, PMI is an institute which is from Pennsylvania, and they're a big company. They have a good amount of money. These are your money, what you give for certificate. Seriously? Yeah, your subscription money and your certificate money. Comparatively, they're less costly than some certificate without content, very costly. There are many certificates in the market, nothing will be there, but they charge heavily. But this is worth spending money. They have a lot of certificates with them. When I say a lot, each has its own meaning. If for a junior level, they go for CAPM, then you know PMP, all the stuff are there. One of that which we are going to learn is called PMI-ACP. Okay. For Agile, few years back, not much certificates available in the market. Also not with the PMI. PMI was doing only ACP. Later, they introduced something called Discipline Agile. Have anyone heard about Discipline Agile here? DAD, Discipline Agile Delivery. Any clue? Anyone heard about it? If you've not heard about it, there is a certificate called DAD, Discipline Agile Delivery, which was acquired by PMI Institute in 2018. I'll talk a little background history why they did that. It is yet to pick up in the market. There are a lot of certificates in DAD itself, but to be honest, it's not highly used in the industry right now. It may take some time. Anything PMI Institute do, it will take some time. It will take years to get to the rhythm. If you ask me PMI-ACP, when I did, hardly few people do their certificate. But now it's a bunch of people. So it takes some time for the institute to pick up. As I was giving a clue, we do have online sessions for PMP, ACP, and Scaled Agile. So what is the difference? More than difference, I'll see it will complement each other. PMP is pure industry standard for management. It could be for leadership. It could be for efficient cost management, time management, risk management. You become an expert, professional. You do in a predictive adaptive model, but this is purely adaptive model. It goes depth of agility. Then why this? This is a different institute called the Scaled Agile Community, and they introduce something called a framework. A framework means set of roles will be there, timeline will be there, work allocation will be properly executed. This is not properly done so far, except Scrum. But Scrum was handling only for a small portion of people. Scaled Agile took it to the organization level. It will start talking for portfolio manager, program manager, team, multiple teams, large enterprise. It's a big scale. That's why it's called scalability. So we do conduct certifications for this. If anyone working in information technology or information technology related domains, concepts, highly recommend Scaled Agile, also now needed in the market. Okay. But again, it depends. In a same year, you can't do all the certificate, huge, expensive. Decide every year one certificate in that dimension, go for it. If not, don't burn a pocket. Okay. Certification never ends, just keep on coming. One other thing you all have to remember, people talk only about certification. Post certification, there is something called renewal. Do anyone know that? Renewal also charge money. Some of you will really, yeah. And see, PMI Institute charges every 3 years once, and this institute charges every 1 year. So you have to know renewal also. It is something money you have to be spent. All right, so this is about the certificate, PMI-ACP. Now the colors has been changed. If not, usually it will be in a purple color. So this certificate I achieved on 2017, but maybe next year I have to renew it. It looks almost like PMP certificate. The intention here is not a certificate. Intention here is the domains. Okay. Can somebody tell me quickly how many domains you see in this? Anything visible for you in the pie chart? How many domains? 7 as a domain. Very good. Nice. 7 domains. Do anyone know that what is the scoring system PMI follows when somebody says I cleared the exam? What is that? Scoring system. Do anyone know about that? Get a 65 mark, 70 marks, 100 marks.
Oh.
Is it?
All we know, it's 3 hours exam, 120 questions.
Okay, that's a good no. And finally, we know that we are pass. That's it. Right. PMI never declares what is the passing score even today. So you will get an indication you passed. If not, failed. Only 2 things. But below that, they can give this scale to you, telling that above target, below target, need improvement. If you have these 2 colors very high in your pie chart, then obviously you are in trouble. If you have more green, you see many companies say that go green. I've seen many go green. I've seen anything.
That's the RAG status you're talking about, green, amber, red.
Right. So when you see a green, go green, corporates say that have greeneries, be environmental friendly. Environmental friendly. I don't know whether they say go green. They want the green to go away or they're asking us to be go green. Okay, coming back here, the more the green you are, better you are. So that's the way the certification is planned. So now 7 domains. If you're coming from PMP world, you would have done with the 3 domains, but here it is 7. Before we get on our main core subject, we have these certain things. First, our eyes will fall in this area to understand what it is. You have to learn this factor also. On top of that, you have to learn the experience factor. 1 year of normal experience, and again, you have 8 months of Agile is sufficient. Or if you have a combination of hybrid model of work experience, good. Pure Agile is good. No Agile is also good because you're on the learning stage. So filling the application form, there are certain format being followed. You will work out on certification application only after 2-3 weeks of time. I will help you what to do. It's pretty simple and straight comparatively because very limited content you have to fill. Apply to the PMI Institute. I'll help you on this portion. If anyone have questions, I didn't work on this, I'm not aware of this, probably we will discuss individually once you reach to me over the WhatsApp. Yeah, I'll guide you. So the message here is, there is some expectation from PMI Institute before you go for the examination. Okay, so that's the one. Let's go a little more. Here's the fee structure. I think I showed you. If you are from currency with India, you will have membership cost, non-membership cost. If you are from currency with the USD, this is a cost. There are certain benefits if you are a PMI member, but PMI member does not come free. For that, you have to pay money. Okay, whatever it is, they will charge you some money. What is the standard in the market? There are sometimes some discounts keep running, telling that we give discounts for this examination. You have to watch out on that timeline. You have to book your exam. One thing I observed is, for PMP, you get better discount. Where it comes to PMI-ACP, I have seen very less amount of discounts given for exam, as number of takers are less there. Let's talk about discount, money, all this factor when you come close to the exam. So what is expected for prerequisite? A degree or a school diploma. Depending on that, your number of experience to show will increase. Now you are sitting for the class because you needed 21 hours contact hours to show for it. This is something after you complete the class, you get the certificate and some experience to show it for the examination. Okay. Okay, this is all I am clear, Shri. Tell me about the exam. So exam will have 120 multi-choice question. So you will have a question, answer A, B, C, D. You will choose one among them. There is no multiple choice. You will not have a checkbox. You will have only a radio button. You will choose one answer. There is no fill in the blanks. There is no true or false. There is no drag and drop. Nothing will be there. They follow only multiple choice, which has 4 answers out of 4, 1 you have to choose. All 120 questions will follow the same format. PMI-ACP exam level of toughness has slightly increased, but the pattern has not changed. They're following the same for so many years. The reason the increase happened is, after PMP took some agile portion, they want to show some difference, so slightly they increased. Some people in the interviews and success stories say, man, it's a crazy tough. I will say no, it's still in the moderate level only. The reason is, some of them are coming from non-agile industry. For them, sure, it is tough because they have not worked in agile model. So the mindset is not ready. When they go for exam, it looks pretty tough. But somebody already working in agile, you are a Scrum guy, Kanban guy, using it already, you will feel, man, it's okay exam. It's not so tough, but not equivalent to CSM. CSM is first standard school exam, whereas ACP is college degree exam, or maybe some good entrance exam. That level it will be there. The difference is first standard and college degree. That difference will be there. So don't compare. Is it tough like CSM? CSM is not exam at all, first of all. Whereas when you come to this, they'll have a professional setup for examination. You have to book your exam date. You have to follow the standards. You have to be monitored by someone. That's how the exam happens. Right. All right. Coming next point. Once you clear the examination, then you have something called a renewal process every 3 years. There is something called 30 professional development unit, 3 PDUs. How do you get it? As you attend some of the learnings, you take classes, or you listen to some of the certifications. For example, people who were cleared PMP, you will get 21 PDUs for PMP. Let me ask this question. How many of you in this room who've done PMP aware that when you do this certification close, you're going to get a 21 PDUs? Are you aware of it?
No.
For your PMP?
No.
No? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. Some of them are aware. If you're not aware of it, message here is, once you complete it, discuss with Rahul. He'll help you. you can fill this 21 against your PMP. In PMP, you need 60 PDUs per year. So you can take, I have learned something in the last few months. I am telling to the PMI Institute and keep learning and keep enabling myself. So you put the 21 PDUs under your 60. Okay. All right, quickly, next one. There is something called pre-test questions. In PMP also it's there. Now in ACP also it's there. 20 questions are called pre-test questions. What is pre-test questions? Out of 120 questions, the institute keep 20 questions as research oriented. What is research oriented? They want to see how this question is being attempted by the people, the behavior pattern. Based on that, PMI Institute will decide to continue this question in the upcoming exams or discard it. So now you are the lab rat. They use you as a rat. But still, good thing here is they mention you that out of 120 questions, 20 questions are kept as a pre-test questions. We'll use it for research purpose. But which 20 questions? Obviously, they won't tell you that. If they tell you, you will become so cautious. So they don't tell you anything. You have to answer all 120 questions in the examination. Then you get it. All right. Hope that gave some basic idea before I jump on. So far, any questions towards the examination?
Sriram, can you click back, show the slide? Because I, restart my system, so I missed this slide.
Yeah, you can tell me. What was the question?
About the how many questions and what is score passing score? How many questions need to be solved for pass? I think this information is that there, right?
Yeah, I'll let you know. There are totally 120 questions.
Okay.
120 questions in the examination. It is totally 3 hours of examination.
Okay.
The result will be pass or fail. Only 2 things. Right? Did you saw the grading system above target, below target? You were there by the time?
No, I was missed because the system is started.
Gotcha. Okay, just quickly show you how does it look like. You see this part?
Okay.
You can see this part. You can see something grading system. This is the grades you get once you pass the examination. More the green in color, better we are.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay. There is a question from Rupal. Yes, Rupal, it's 3 hours of examination. And one interesting factor there is in 3 hours, there is no break allowed. Okay. So in PMP, they have 4 hours for which 2 breaks are given. Now it is 3 hours, no break. When I say no break, when you are writing this exam at home with your laptop, sure, you can't take a break. You have to continuously sit in the same place. Whereas you take the same exam in the center, you can take a break. But there won't be any official break, which means they won't give you special time. You have to spend your own time. In this 3 hours, you have to spare 5 minutes for the break, which people are raising complaint. PMI should look into that. They may change in some time because when they give for PMP, why not for ACP? They have to give here also. Still, I don't see anything. Maybe they'll do in some time. The message here is 3 hours continuous examination. Okay, one other question. On average, how much we should score in mock exam so we can clear the main exam? That's a good question. So what is the expectation question? How much should be? If I ask you back the question, since you come from PMP background, how much will be the decent one in PMI?
I believe it should be something around 70%, maybe.
Yeah, now we increase the bar level for ACP. I'm expecting people 75 to 80% in practice. Seriously? Because in PMP, we sometimes talk about 65 to 70 itself a good one. Whereas I'm asking people here to go 75 to 80 because recent days I'm hearing the question paper level is slightly above than the average. So 75 to 80 in ShriLearning, 4 or 5 full exams, good for you. Okay, hope that helps you. All right, one more question before I go to subject. Deepa, there won't be multiple correct answers for any question. Only radio button given. Yes, Deepa, you are right. ACP exam paper is always a radio button, A, B, C, D. For now, they're following this format. They may change in future, but for now, it's only radio button. One choice you have to choose. All right, good. Anyone in the YouTube have a question? Okay, meantime, quickly, let me tell you what is there in the domain. There are 7 domains you have to go through. In the classes, we'll start with the domain principles and mindset. That's a domain number 1. This could be the part of discussion today. And then we'll get into further other domains like value-driven delivery and then stakeholder team members. These 2 domains purely talks people management. In Agile, how they do people management. Okay, this will be explained here. Then what is next? The next here is you're going to talk about adaptive planning, how planning works in Agile. We have seen predictive planning and adaptive planning in other certifications, including PMP. Here, it's purely in Agile, how do they do planning? A weekly or a release level, what they do. Problem, how risk and issues are handled in Agile being discussed. How an Agile team improves continuously in the area of a product, process, people. How do they improve? So this kind of discussions will happen in the 7 domains. A relatively lesser chapter in the sense the size will be lesser, but this too will consume a lot of time in our classes because this is the place in Agile principles and mindset. We are going to learn what is 4 values of Agile, 12 principles of Agile. We are also going to learn what is a Scrum. We are going to learn what is XP, right? XP. We are going to learn what is Kanban. We are going to learn what is Agile leadership. We are going to learn what is lean management. If you see here, most of the big shots are here. And here we are going to learn how we call as value delivery. We keep delivering the component to the customer. What do you mean by value? What is the meaning of value? Why we have to deliver the value? What is the prioritization? When you say something value, we need to have the concept called prioritizing. See, I may have a lot of things valuable in my life, but everything can be done on the same day. Answer is no. ShriRearning, what do you want? I want this, I want this, I want this. Okay, all you want. Okay, how many years? Maybe in the next 20 years of time. That's okay. But what do you want now? This now is a critical factor. If you ask a product owner or a customer, what do you want? Customer says, I want everything. It's something like a little baby. You give an ice cream or chocolates. You ask the baby, what do you want? The baby will tell, I want everything. But the mom will tell, no, first have this. Today's a rainy day. Maybe have a chocolate. Later you can have ice cream. That's mom decides. But here, the customer decides based on the customer feedback from the market. You call us voice of the customer. What is the voice of the customer? Which is important? What do you think important today, tomorrow will become unimportant. But how do you do that? So you have to understand those factors here very clearly, because in the name of agility, in the name of quicker delivery, in the name of flexibility, you should not spoil your business. You should be careful enough to handle the business, right? So you have to be careful how to decide which is important, unimportant, what method to use, deliver values. So these all we learn. So these first 2 chapters consume a good amount of time. We will have some exercise, question papers, and you will do a mini sample project. All are coming on the way. So I would expect you to actively participate. I may split the team here to ask you to work as a group to apply what you learn, because I do have many people here who want to learn Agile, but not from Agile-based industry. So they want to see how it works really. So I expect you to do a workshop. Anyone here from non-Agile industry? It means your industry is slowly picking up and you are learning this to be front runner. Anyone here? I'm seeing yes. Construction. Oh, wow, good. Nice to see. Nice to see. All right. I'm seeing a few bunch of people who don't have the industry already following Agile fully. They would have kickstarted. Maybe I'm repeating the same dialogue. This years back, I have not seen other industry people coming here, but it's good to see because the market demand is high. And since you are learning early stage, you may become a front runner. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. Somebody says, I'm learning Agile. You will tell, man, I know already a few years back. So you can start applying these concepts in your industry. That's pretty important. Construction. I have another construction person. Okay, very good. Nice. But can I apply exactly what is in Agile inside my industry? I would say no. You have to pick up what are the key factors and start thinking in that dimension. 100 years back, there could have been some different system. 200 years back could have been different system. Maybe we are in the right timeline when the transition is happening. I'll be very happy to say that you and me are living in a better generation than our parents lived. Do you agree? Our parents may be more talented than us, but they didn't get this kind of exposure what you're getting. Internet and telecommunication and the market need, which you can learn and expose yourself. This was not there for your parents. They were highly talented, but they were able to survive within the skill what they had. But now that's not the case, right? Every 3 years, you can switch and change to a new skill. In that case, I feel Agile is something, a new skill or new knowledge, which is available in the market. You may be from any industry, but you're learning this because we have demand in the market. So feel happy for that. And that's a good thing, good sign for us. Books to read towards examination. Can somebody count and tell me how many books are recommended by PMI here? Just a quick number count. Let's see who counts faster.
13.
13 books.
11.
11. Oop, 2 numbers I got. 11, 30. Which one is the right number? Confirm it.
12.
12. 11, 12, 13. Man.
12. Sorry, 12. I take back 11.
Okay. 12 books are there. For PMP, how many books they recommended? For PMP, PMI Institute, they recommended some books. You know that? How many? Even though it's a big certificate. 10 books are recommended.
Yeah, PMBOK.
Okay. PMI Institute recommended 10 books for the PMP. But here, how many books? 12 books. Can you read all these 12 books before exam? Not at all. So whenever they give a book, it's not meaning that you have to read all the books. It's a meaning that concepts can be understood in different books. But however it is, when you want to go for examination, it is not human possible to read all. So what to do? Of course, there are some books purposefully aimed towards exam only. That is how you read Rita 10th if you are from PMP. If you're not from PMP, now you learn. There is a book called Agile Practice Guide, which was published by PMI itself in the year 2018. This book is part of PMBOK 6th edition. When you buy a PMBOK 6th edition, last 200 pages is about Agile Practice Guide, which explains basics of Agile. Is it sufficient? My answer is no. With the trend of exam question paper recently, I will not recommend one book. I will recommend 3 books. One is PMI-ACP book from Mike Griffith. He written this book some years back, but it is really worth the book because he took the 7 domains which I showed as a pie chart, took effort to explain each domain. Does he cover everything? Answer is no. He tried to cover more than 70% of the content properly. Some content he added which may not be needed for exam. For example, he talks about earned value management, talks about internal rate of return. Some concepts which may not be needed for exam is also inside the book. That's okay. But 70-75% content is here. Rest content where I will go. Read Agile Practice Guide. I believe people in this room, if you are coming from the family of PMP, already these 2 books you should have touched. Anyone here who opened and touched this book already? You're aware of this book? You're done? Okay, you're done already. If you have not done anything, Shriram, this is the first day for me starting the class. No worries. These books are available. Start reading. When you read this, I would recommend one other book, Essential Scrum. Do anyone seen this book or at least have a copy of this book with you? Essential Scrum. If not, I highly recommend this book because even though it says Essential Scrum, this person talks highly about the Scrum because in Agile, we have to learn more, not only Scrum. But the way the person explained has a good concepts, elaborate. Any topic, he took it to go to the depth from where it originated, why we are doing this. He would have explained in that order, which makes a little sensible description. For example, how do they do release level, high level planning in Agile, how it is working in Scrum. As a team, how they work, what is the role of a servant leader, what is the role of a Scrum Master, role of product owner. It's explained properly. Whenever you get a time, you can just go through. It will also add value for your examination, also for your interviews. So 3 books I'm recommending. In this 2 is sufficient to clear the examination. And this book can be used as a reference book, which adds more value. Okay. All right. Before I go on, I believe you all have access to communication board. Did you all got access to communication board from ShriLearning?
Yes, sure.
Okay. I believe by now communication board has become a known website for people. Some of them may not be known. You are new to the system. If you're new to the system, this is called a communication board. And this communication board will give you access to some of important things, including writing habits. Okay. Anyone here who will or who knows about writing habits of ShriLearning? If you know about writing habits, yes, there is something called regular writing habits, which you will follow from coming days. Starts at the week 1, week 2, week 3. We have some pictures here. I recommend you to draw that, write that, keep up the momentum. And you have all your question papers preparation here, Agile discussions. When I say discussions, every other week we have a discussion. This is all a recorded session. You can listen anytime. Study material, fresh plans, all are there. Top of that, Zoom links are here. And also how to fill the application form is given. If you are new to our ShriLearning group, you will learn more going forward, where we have details about how to work towards the examination. Okay. All right. That's a key point. Vinitra is asking a question. What about Agile estimation planning? So Vinitra, can you please give a little highlight of what you mean by this question? Meantime, I will bring the slide.
Hey, hi Sriram. It is about the Agile estimation and planning book, because most of the questions that are being posted in the ACP exam group, exam WhatsApp group, it has a reference to that book. So, that's why I was asking.
Very good. So do we see this book here, right? Agile estimation and planning, Mike Cohen. Do you see that?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm sure this book can be referenced, but why I didn't recommend is it's some concepts are good, some are crazy tough to read. The way the person explained is little harder for people to read and understand. If not, recommendation is yes, you can see this book. On top of that, when you read the Essential Scrum, what I gave the other book reference here, and this book has pulled out something from Agile estimation planning. So when you read this Essential Scrum also, you get the same concepts, also explained in the very layman level language. I'm trying to show some of the books which explains at the very basic level, but definitely Agile estimation planning is also a good book to go through. But if you start adding, it will become a huge set of content for the examination. So try 3 books, PMI-ACP Mike, Agile, plus Agile estimation or planning, or plus Essential Scrum. Beyond that, if you add 4 books, it becomes so heavy for preparation. But yes, that is a good book from Mike Cohen.
Okay, thank you.
Correct. So when you read it, did you got a more depth understanding of planning?
No, I didn't even touch that book. That's why I'm asking.
Very good. So if permits, please read that also, since you opened the topic. Let's see how it works out.
Sure. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, application form filling. Form filling, I believe there is a template which we follow, and I will help you towards the examination how to fill this form. For now, let's keep it. I'll help you more on this. All right, any questions quickly towards examination, books, preparation, before you go to the subject? Any questions on this area? People in YouTube, do you have any questions towards this? All right, let's move. All right, quick intro. You are with ShriLearning, and I'll be helping you towards your examination. When I say helping you, probably I'll be the only person taking the class. But when it comes to helping you, there is a big team here. When it comes to team, we will have Rahul Gupta, Arzu, and some more team members in the team group who will be guiding you towards the examination. It could be for study material, exam question papers, and other guidance. I'm sure you are all aware of this team. If you're new to the system, you'll start interacting with more number of people on a regular basis, where you have to go for the weekly test, Q&A session. So it keeps happening. So good thing in Agile is you don't need to settle with one certificate. I have done something called CSM, which was useful to understand what is Scrum. I have done something called Scale Agile, which talks about agility at the enterprise and organization level. That's also useful. I done PMI-ACP, which helped a lot of methodologies and framework in the market. So you don't need to stay with one. You can go with more, because I do see that new certificates are coming, like professional Scrum Master. More or less all are the same. Those are in different shape. That's it. Nothing new will be there. But these American institutes are so good in marketing. So they make sure companies ask for professional Scrum certified. There is a big mafia gang behind this. I have not seen PMI Institute involved in this kind of characters. They are there from 1969. They make the standard certificates. That's it. They leave it. They don't go behind the door and do something. But these are companies made for it, including Scaled Agile. All these guys are pure marketing people. They make sure companies ask you those certificates. That's why you see suddenly there is a spike in, you get this certificate, but you won't see that for ACP or PM. They won't ask anything. It's a standard. It's a brand in the market. But anyway, let's leave those mafia gang. Let's not worry about that. Let's see if something knowledgeable to us, let's get it. So don't get it driven. Some are asking this certificate. No, that's not like that. You should know what is inside the certificate, what is the syllabus, will it really help me next 4 or 5 years. Don't see a certificate only for your job, only for your interview. See a certificate for a long term, so that you have some value with you. Yeah, do that in that order. Okay, that's with the ShriLearning. At the same time, now I want to listen to you. We have a few people here. Let's say hello to each other. I'm going to divide the team into maybe 2 or 3. Will you be comfortable to give a little highlight how these 2 questions, how will you use the benefit of Agile the next 1 year? What is in your mind? How do you want to use it for a job, day-to-day work, or getting a promotion? What do you want to do? And tell a funny thing about you. Something should be there, right? So you can give a highlight about, if you ask me what you do, I would tell the next 1 year, maybe I will make sure that in my enterprise or corporate level, agility can happen at leadership level. Or I will tell agility can happen at a team level. I want to be that particular person, or I get a job like this, or my salary has to go high. We'll talk about it. Funny thing could be anything from your school days or college days, some incident. You may think that's so crazy. You can share that. Could be icebreaker for us. All right, so now quickly, let's do that. Will you be comfortable to be the cam and mic when you go for introduction? Edwin, good to see you, man. After a long time. How is your new job?
Good going, Shira.
Okay. Started getting a new salary?
Yeah.
Are they giving it dinars, gold, or diamond?
No, rupees.
Rupees only. Okay, good. That's right. Still, you can convert the rupees into gold and diamond. All right, good. So let's see some of them. If you want to come on the cam, I saw only a few of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split the team to say hello to each other. I know in the morning hours you're not ready. Weekend mode. Weekend, no makeup, nothing, natural looking. Only family can see me. Nobody can see this. Okay. So now what I do is, let's take a few minutes of time to say hello to each other. What I do is I'll divide the team into two groups. So you can bring two topics, how you're going to use Agile in the next 1 year of time in your day-to-day life. Other one is stay some funny factor. Okay. What I can do is, hey, people in the YouTube, you can write down about this two topic in the chat. Meantime, we will get to the team here. Right. Good wishes. Let's catch up in a few seconds. Ravi Pandey, I'm seeing you chatting in the YouTube. Nikhil, you are getting the invite. To get the invite. Okay. All right, people in the YouTube, just give a few minutes. We're going to have an introduction come back. Meantime, you can also type about yourself in the chat message as introduction. Hello, welcome back. Did you all introduce yourself properly?
Yes, Sriram.
Do everyone had a chance?
We were almost there. I think a couple in our group were
Okay.
about to introduce.
Okay, what are the two things asked to introduce?
The first one, you're asking the questions that was posted.
Two questions given there when you introduce yourself. What was the two question?
So the two questions were, where do you see yourself in the next 1 year with Agile? I think so. I
And then
think so.
the
Second question is the funny thing about you.
Yes.
Okay. How many of you seriously followed this two things?
We did follow the
I
first.
followed it. I followed it, Sriram. Thankfully, before you came, I finished it off.
Okay. Okay. Some of the room I found that we couldn't talk about the second topic at all. Tell a funny thing. You don't have any funny thing in your life? Have never happened?
So we were actually processing it, and then the time was not enough.
Because we didn't go with only two questions, we went with 4 questions. So we started answering a lot of questions on our own, right? Okay, that's fine. Why I kept this two is, one is to see how do you look at yourself in future. You may not learn this course just like a course. You will see where I want to apply this. You should not do that because my friend said, my office said. You should think where I'm going to apply this. Maybe for my growth or a job, a different change, or moving to different country, earning, something you have to see for the purpose of it. If you don't have a purpose, I'll tell you, after this course, you will not go for certificate. I get people every time coming for the class, but later they don't go for certificate. The reason is there's no purpose. They start something, then they realize, oh man, I don't think it's easy. Yeah? I have to sit and read 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Without this also, we'll get promotion. I see this guy, Ramesh, you got 20% hike without this. Why not me? So we'll start seeing easiest approachable people who got it without doing anything. And we'll try to align ourselves within that, which will not work. So you should have a purpose of why you're doing this. That's very important. Then the funny factor is, ideally to break some ice and it will normal, because after 10 years of experience, your face turn into a different mode. Okay, this is not the face which you had in your school days. You used to smile, you used to be happy, but after coming to the corporate life and you got a 2 EMI, one for a car, one for a home, you forget the word called smile, isn't it? Anyone here in the club of EMI club? You 2 EMI, 1 EMI, that's it, your life is screwed up. After that, no smiling and nothing. Always serious mode. Somebody fighting in Russia, in Ukraine, you will be scared what will happen to my EMI. Okay. Somebody in Uganda doing something, you'll be worried what will happen to the oil price. Okay, you'll be very worried about it because you are into the problem of EMI. So slowly you get into the mode of mechanical mode, survival mode. Something somewhere happens, you get scared. You look for more security in life rather looking for opportunity in life. I keep telling people that there is no security. You cannot tell that I bought 2 homes, so I'm secure. Nothing is secure here. Anything can go away from you except your knowledge, except your character, except your attitude, right? So that makes you good. So I expect people to be smiley, happy. That doesn't mean that once you wake up in the morning, you start saying, hey, let's keep laughing like that. Sensible laughing, sensible smiling, because the world is getting to a very tight mode where people are very seriously running, where you become a leader who people like you for your cool character. So that's a person people is looking for. How many of you like a person who is at your corporate handle things cool? Have you seen anyone very happy and cool but handles the situation carefully? You seen anyone in your corporate the last few years?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. It is not because they are cool they're handling better, or they're handling better because of that they're cool. Both are complementing each other. Okay, I'm not asking you to smile in front of the world. The home is burning, you keep on smiling. No, not like that. You build a habit of being relaxed mode. You build a habit of looking, there is no security in life. You cannot tell this is mine. This is mine. No, you start thinking like that, you won't live a long, better life. Rather, you feel there is more to come in life to work better. Okay, with this all the Gyan stuff, let's get into the subject. I would expect you all to have a purpose towards what you're learning. In PMP, I used to force people or ask people to write the exam date itself. Here, I'm not forcing because many of you come from the family of PMP, you know you have to mark a date. But here, I'm not using the word exam date. I will use the word purpose. Learn the purpose of why you're doing this. I'm sure you'll get the hold of it. With this, we'll get to the subject. You should have a break in another 25 minutes. Will you be comfortable to hold 25 minutes with me? Some more subject?
Sure.
Okay, good. Was this introduction good for you in the sense of meeting some new people, saying hello to them? Was it good? All right, nice to know. Any one person or two person here you are not introduced before the time is gone? Anyone here? You should not feel bad that you didn't introduce. Anyone here? You can put your hands up. Hey, I didn't introduce, man, before the time got over. Looks like everyone.
Yeah, sure. I didn't
Oh, you were
introduce
there.
myself.
Chandra, Charan, will you be fine to introduce yourself now in front of everyone?
Yes, Shriram. Yeah.
Right, go ahead. You can speak up.
Yeah. My name is Sharan Kumar. I have been working in IT from last 7 years. From last 3 years, I'm hearing so much about Agile. Even in couple of interviews I have given, I have been forced to give a couple of answers to Agile methodologies and all the things. Then I came to know there was something called Agile methodology and all the things. Even though I was working as a business analyst, I never heard about that thing due to some other circumstances. Even I started my own startup, but I was forced to work on some other things. I never got a time to learn. Later, when I joined in other company, I started to think that this is the right time to learn something about Agile and all the things. By God's grace, one of my colleague has introduced me to ShriLearning, and I thought it is the right time to go ahead. And about the where I will implement this thing, to be frank, first and foremost, I don't say that I will implement right away in my project. I will implement on myself, like where exactly. Like, to be frank, I'm not seeing any productive in myself, so I want to see a more productive person.
Okay, that's impressive. Do you remember any funny factor about you?
Funny
What is
factor,
that?
to be frank, most of my clients will come to me only on Fridays, that too at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and talking about the bugs and all the things. Except that, apart from that, there is not much more funny things in corporate world.
Friday evening. Okay. Hey, one point you mentioned in interviews, they forcibly ask you to answer something on Agile. Force looks a little hard, but still, how do you manage when you don't know Agile? How do you answer those days?
Yeah, Sriram, to be frank, after attending couple of interviews, I thought to learn. Then I started some Udemy courses, to be frank. Okay.
Oh,
And I brush up certain topics like what exactly means. Then I started giving interviews.
So theoretically, you can tell something about what is Agile in interviews.
Yes, that's it.
That's good. Okay. For survival, you have something. Nice to know. Thanks, Sharan. I appreciate it. Anyone else? If not much, we'll get to the subject. All right, all good. We have spent 1 hour to get the ground ready. Now we have to go to the subject. That's our first domain, which is called Agile Principles and Mindset. This is called Exam Content Outline. PMI Institute has a habit. The habit here is they don't talk something about the exam directly, giving the book, read this book, you clear the exam. This is not the way PMI Institute works. How the PMI Institute works is they will have something called ECO. It's called as Exam Content Outline. They'll give an outline, what all area you have to have a knowledge. On those areas, we'll ask you some questions. But that doesn't mean that we'll ask only from this area. This is a recommended area. A recommended area. We may even go out of this. Looks crazy, right? You feel, man, it's too bad, yeah. You guys are already giving something called outline. which is not very clear. For example, it says Agile principles and mindset. When they say principles, they say explore, embrace, apply Agile principles, mindset within the context of project, team, and organization. They're telling that you will apply the context of agility in team and organization. Now, you are going to learn in this first chapter, which is the biggest chapter, you're going to learn Scrum, Kanban, XP, Lean, Agile leadership, everything. And they're asking you whether, how do you look into that? You apply in the team, apply in the corporate level, organization level. So our questions will be targeting this. For this, in the books of exam content outline, there are a few more titles are given. There they stop. Now you have to search the books where these concepts are explained. How to embrace agility, how to apply Agile, what is principles, what is mindset. You have to read it. And then when you go to the examination, they will ask questions around this area. And this is the only thing which makes PMI Institute related exams are crazy tough. The reason is, if you go to other certifications, you will straight away know that this is a subject, this is the question. Even the question will be available in Google also. But here, they don't talk exactly what's the subject. They'll give an outline. It's called outline, exam content outline. They don't go deeper. So it's our responsibility to understand around this thing what all you have to read. Okay. So the people who are new to PMI Institute, I'm just giving this highlight. If you know PMI Institute for a long time, you did a PMP, you may know what is content outline. So you have 5 domains or 7 domains here. All the 7 domains are explained with some content outline. Whenever I take a class of one domain, I'll give a base of it and then start explaining further. All right, let's go a little more. Quick highlight of what all we are going to learn in the concepts. You're going to learn 4 values and 12 principles. And you're going to learn the Kanban model. You're going to learn leadership model. You're going to learn lean concept, Scrum methodology, extreme programming. Apart from this, there are a few more available, TDD and dynamic system development model, DSDM, crystal methodology, but those all not focused towards examination. As I say, Mike Griffith written this book for this 7 domains given by PMI Institute. At the same time, Mike has a habit of adding some content which is little more than what is needed. So some of the areas we will not focus more, we leave it and we'll focus on important areas. Okay, you can even see the factor about leadership and management, servant leadership. These are concepts you will learn in deeper in this books. Okay, let's go a little more. First thing, let's listen to a short video which will give a highlight about what is Agile mindset. After this, we'll step into the process of learning depth. So now first, let's listen to the video. I'll make sure you get a good quality audio and increase my volume. Yeah, okay, all good. So I'll play this video. Let's watch. I'm sorry, somebody's asking. Okay, let's go on.
Written in 2001, basically software methodology people came together and wanted to articulate the different way of working that they had been doing compared to what the rest of the industry was doing. Really, Agile is a mindset, it's a way of thinking that's defined by 4 values, described by 12 principles, and then manifested through an unlimited number of practices or different ways of working. And it's simply a deep understanding and culture of learning and experimentation and trying things out. Any creative work will benefit from this notion of an Agile way of working. One of the misconceptions about Agile is sort of why, right? Why do I want to become Agile? Is it just to be more efficient and more effective? And I think for some people, they may say yes, but for me, it's not that. It really is about customer centricity. Agility is the best way to serve your customer, right? The customer today is in a constant state of motion. There's a lot changing for customers at all times, and acknowledging and understanding that because I want to be more customer centric and that the customer is in a constant state of change. I need to be more flexible, agile in the way I work. And when I say I'm saying, marketing people, HR people, finance people, product development, content creators, sales, any discipline, any function that is trying to serve a customer. Agile becomes a necessity, not a nice to have, because you will not be able to truly surprise and delight and fulfill the needs of your customer without having a way of working where we are co-creating and trying things out and experimenting and inspecting and adapting and innovating and being okay with failure. It is a different mindset. It is a different set of capabilities. And I think if you just boil it down to doing things differently, that's all you're going to do. You're just going to do a bunch of things differently. But if you want to be a different person that is ready for, the next century of how business is done and creative work and customer centricity, that requires a journey, a learning journey for yourself. But it's a journey worth pursuing because it will change you, and it will change the way you work, and it will change what you can do for your customer.
Good. One good thing I'll observe this video is okay to fail. Do anyone saw that term in this video? It's okay to fail? Did you? Okay. Was it important? Maybe reading it as an exam preparation. Do you think it's important to have a mindset okay to fail? Do you think that? See most of them, yes. So message here is why it came in when we talk of management, the model was different 30, 40 years back, where it was more focused on how much of ROI, return on investment. I give some money, what will be the outcome? And people have been skewed to do certain things. The later part of years, I understood it is not really productive when you start skewing people more on a thinking, knowledge-based projects. So probably you will give space for them, time for them, and take an initiative where people can even research and fail in the beginning stages of what they do, and they learn out of it. But you don't want them to fail all the time, but fail early in the system so that I have time to fix that issue. Right? That's a good thing, I believe, right? See, if a breakfast is getting ready, if my mom is preparing something, by 6 a.m. she did something but doesn't work well, she can fix it before 8 a.m. the breakfast. What if she fails by 7:45? And we don't have time. We don't have time. We are in trouble by the time. 8 o'clock, the breakfast should be there. You're in trouble. So in Agile, they're trying to keep it a little early and have the mindset of let them fail. But let's do that as a learning process. Today, it may look simple for you when you read this, and what's a big deal, man? I'm doing this all the day. But let's see 30, 40 years back how it was, or when they created the Agile, why they created. You'll be surprised to see those days it was not like that. When I'm saying those days, I have people from construction industry, I have people from infrastructure, other industries. Still, those industries have a very traditional format which is being followed. Nothing wrong, really works well. But if they can't compete with the market speed, then there is a problem. They want to relook the mindset of the people. The message now in the market is you don't need to change a process what your company is following. Let the process go as it is. But find out the mindset of people and try to see the lean concept, which is called as value-driven delivery. What is the proportion of value the team can give in a shorter duration of time? And Agile comes in there. We're going to talk about lean. We're going to talk about lean, effective management of value-added, non-value-added items. If you can remove non-value-added items, automatically you get good time for the value-added items. But how do I know value-added, non-value-added? For this, you should know how to look at the work, how to prioritize the work. Then you understand what is value-added, non-value-added. When you're preparing for the examination like PMP or PMI-ACP, initially I hear people, I'm a very busy person. I don't have any time. I can't give time for writing assignments. I cannot give time for doing some exercise. I can't give time for reading. But later the same person come and tell to me, hey, I'm writing every day. I'm reading the books on regularly. How they found it? The answer is they started seeing that what all non-value added items and they start removing them out. So if you can think in that dimension, I'm sure it's going to help. That's what this video is trying to communicate. All right. So what we'll do is we have a few minutes to go for the break. Before we go for the break, I want to see from your perspective what all you are aware in the market in the name of agility. So what I want to give you is, I want to give you something. Okay. All right, I'll give a link now. See if you can access this link. And I want to do a small exercise with everyone right now. I know it's a very big link. Okay, just click this link. It'll ask for the Google login. If you have a Google login, do that. What I want to do, what I want to show you, I'll bring that to the screen right now. Okay, do anyone got access in the group? If you have got access to the system, okay, I see some of you got access already. What I want from you right now is there is Agile. Okay, come to this box, Agile methods and framework. There'll be a title called Agile methods and framework. Hope you are all in the screen, what I'm sharing. Okay. Okay, in this box, I want you to write down what all Agile methods and framework you are aware of. How to write it? On your left, please watch the screen what I'm sharing before you do any action. Please watch here. Watch for a few seconds. Okay, on the left, what you see here is one is arrow. If you click the arrow, you'll get this hand sign. You can move any direction. If you click again, it will become a normal cursor. Okay. So the second one, what you have to learn is sticky notes. If you click this sticky notes, you get one, whatever color you like. Pick it up one, just click off it. It will come here. Now you will write, I know so and so item. So I want you to write down what all Agile methods and frameworks you are aware, or any Agile words, what you have heard in your life so far. Can you do this? People who have got in already. On your left, don't do in some other box, do only in Agile methods and framework, what you see in the screen. Okay. All right, already I see Anita has started. Anyone have a question? Please let me know. If you can't access, can't do anything.
Yeah, so I can't do anything. I think there's an Excel issue.
I didn't get you. What is that?
I can't do anything. I think there's some access issue. Is there an access issue? Any permission required there?
No, I see everyone is getting it. You should be able to get it. You have to have a login. Once you click, it will ask for the Google login. Just you do that, click on it. Okay. I'm seeing most of you here in the box, but I'm not seeing your action in the box. Can you get to the action to the box? I think we're all doing in the wrong place. See? You all seeing where are you guys? A group of people. I want you to move to the leftmost. Please watch the shared screen, what I'm showing to you. Come to leftmost. How to drag to leftmost? Click the arrow, drag it. I believe you're observing what I'm saying. Please observe before you do something. If you click on...
Shriram, one more suggestion to go to that particular board. They can click on your name where in the top right corner, so it will redirect it to the same board where the Agile methods and framework.
Very good. So you have to click on my name here.
Yes.
Okay, very good. That's also a good suggestion. But do you all have access to this screen? What I'm showing now, the list of names here. Is this the one you're mentioning?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I think I see one more person is here now. A few more are coming in. All right, good. So Anita, if I understand, they have to click Sriram Kumar in the right top corner.
Yes, Shriram.
Okay.
So it will automatically brings you to the same board.
All right, very good. That's a good suggestion. So I believe all observing what Anita mentioned. Click the name of Sriram in the top right corner, and you should be in the board. Or click this arrow. You have a hand sign to move the screen. All right, let's see what people are writing down here. Lean, safe, framework, Scrum. Okay. After you type, you click outside so that it will become a normal sticky note. Yep. Prabhagar, Kishan, Abdul, you are all in the wrong place. You have to come to leftmost. Okay, I'll repeat again. There is a screen I'm sharing right now. Please see the screen. And also Anita gave an option on the right. You can see Sriram. Click the Sriram. You will come to the right place. You are all standing in a different room. You have to come to the place where we are doing some work here. Okay, yeah, please. Now Kishan got it. Very good. It looks like a morning exercise, right? Move left, move right. Okay, good. I'm seeing lean, 12 principles, fast failure, Scrum. Rajesh, can you click outside, make the sticky, normal sticky? Okay. I'm still people are struggling here. Okay, now it's good. Miro is a tool in the market, which is, I'm not sure how many of you seen this. It's a tool available to use all our agile factors. It will help you to put a sticky. You can do diagrams, all are helpful here. Okay, one other person. Sivaraman, can you make your sticky a little bigger? Or I can help you. I'll help you. Yeah. All right. Kishan is putting hybrid, lean, Kanban, burn down, velocity, retrospective, work in progress. Impressive. Kishan, you have a lot of information. I appreciate it. And these are you apply, Kishan, or it is something you've read it?
Yeah, this we have applied. Actually, we did one major transformation, ERP transformation for all group companies. At that time, Accenture was a partner. So this Agile hybrid project they have put. At that time, I didn't know much, but after that, I started reading a little bit on that. So we use the Jira tool for tracking actually. So some of these things, terminology which we use actually.
Nice to know. Nice to know. Okay, good to know.
Because a certain part of the project they made predictive. After that, they say it's Agile. So while doing VNP, I could appreciate that hybrid model. Most of my exam questions are on hybrid. Like almost 40 to 45 questions.
Yeah. There was a time it was paper mix of both.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you click the mouse outside so your sticky becomes normal? Okay. All right. Anyone in this room using this kind of boards in your office on a day-to-day life?
We use
in our office, we use it for product roadmap.
What is it? For what reason you used it?
For roadmap, like, so which all things will be covered in each sprint. That's what they are using.
Okay.
Miro board, right?
Yeah, Miro board. Minitra, can you click your mouse outside? You make it as sticky as normal. Okay, very good. People says physical whiteboard. I know some of you using this for the first time, little difficulty will be there. But I just want you to be aware of this thing. Today is a learning. Going forward, you'll use this few more times. You will start getting more conversant with this. The reason I want to show this is in future in your corporate, you may use it. There is a need for corporates are using digital boards where you expect people to write down concepts very easily. Right, that's how it is. Let me see if anyone's still in the right side. Okay, I think you all moved already. Okay, good. All right, good. One quick factor here I found is many of us are aware of Scrum. That is very evident in this. And what other methods are available? Lean, I'm seeing more being discussed. Kanban, I can see few of them have said. Okay. Anyone in this room, you say that, no, I have not done anything out of this. Nothing here. I've not even touched anything. Anyone here? Scrum, Kanban, Lean, Agile, nothing here. Okay, Abdul says, yeah, nothing you touched. Okay.
What I understand, Shriram, most of the things are manufacturing. We use this Kanban, this one, production Kanban and all. So a lot of things, there is a connectivity is there. Only the approach and all, I think we need to refine that. So a lot of things is in different way.
Right, got you. Manufacturing, Kanban, it's used for inventory management.
Yes.
Right. Yes, it is for inventory. Came some years back. Later in 2000 or 1995 onwards, Kanban, they did something for slight modification has been made, which will help for the industry where they have a ticketing system, where they have a work should be understood based on the WIP, work in progress. For that reason, Kanban modification has happened. So let's see those factors also in the class. All right, good. This is good. Thanks all for everyone writing down. Can you say that today you learned a tool, something called Miro, where you can write something? Maybe you are not used before today, you would have got a little access towards it, how it works. But again, like this, there are a lot of tools available in the market. I just pulled one of them where it helps us to interact. We will use this tool more where we can do some interactions going forward. Being the first day, some of you had a little trouble in access, but at least we learned what is sticky note, how to put. Yeah, this learning is good for right now. This is enough, right? Now this Miro is a free tool. Also, certain level they'll ask for subscription. It's a free tool which is used for the corporate interactions. Where I go to the corporate, they have a corporate access. More facilities are available. I gave a very basic thumbnail. What you see right now, there are more levels in this, but this level is sufficient. I'm sitting with the team. I can ask the team to do something. I can do a planning in this room. I can do more with this because it's more accessible board. But let's not get into the marketing of the board because like this 100 boards available in the market. But message here is, did you found transparency here? When somebody is something writing here, someone is thinking, you are able to see that. Are you able to do that? Transparency. If you get that, the tool is successful because it is transparent to show what each one of us thinking. Second one is that helping us to write what you like? It is allowing, it's not restricting you. It is giving you the freedom of thinking what you want. If it can do these two things, I will tell you it's good. It's good to go for a good tool to do. Now, why I want to show this is in agility, they expect to have more amount of transparency, more amount of agility. I cannot wait for somebody to send an email and then I'll read it. Rather, I'll keep an open board like this. Anytime I can visit and learn it. So the days are gone where you tell that nobody has informed me. I don't know this. I don't know what work is in the progress. I don't know. Rather, you have a board like this. You have all the information. You can get there and see that. It's called information radiator. Okay, big screen or big visual information radiator, where you can see the information as smoothly as possible. All right, quickly before you go for the break, one thing I learned here is I saw lean principles, daily stand-up, burn down, product demo. Very good. Here I found something. Artifacts, daily scrum, capacity planning, time boxed. Under Kanban, creating tickets, prioritization, non-time boxed, delivery, hybrid, Scrum one. Very good. Here, what I see here is, in my team, we use a Scrum as framework and Kanban as a tracking progress, apply to as a Scrum. Very good. BDD. Okay, very good. Agile, Scrum, Kanban, BDD, Jira, Confluence. All right. BDD is behavior driven development. Nice. Good. All right, quickly. Thanks all for everyone taking this effort to at least put what is there in your mind. That's fine. So now let's get to a break of 15 minutes. When we come back, we have to get to the chapter which is about Agile principles and mindsets. We'll start seeing some basic principles of Agile and some question answer I have. Post that, we'll get into a framework called Scrum. We'll learn what is Scrum, how a product owner, Scrum Master, servant leader, these proportion. We would have heard a lot. We would have worked a lot. Now we have to understand from the ACP perspective how they explain these concepts, so that this will help you for the examination, your day-to-day job, and again for your other factors and promotion factors. All right, this is good. Let's get to Vinitra's question. So Miro is an IR. Miro is not, when you say IR, I think you're asking about information radiator, Vinitra. Is it so? If you're asking for that,
Yeah.
no.
Yes, Sriram. I'm asking if this is an IR tool or something.
Yes, we can call it as, because often we have good amount of tools in the market which are helping us to be an information radiator. But this is not the only role of Miro. Miro helps us. One of that is to publicize what we do. That's one of that. If not, it is also helping in other factors of interaction with your team members. Okay. All right. Let's take a 15 minutes break. When we come back, we'll kickstart with more content. Good time. We'll catch you in 15 minutes. People in the YouTube, we'll come back in 15 minutes. We'll catch up more content.
Hello everyone, Shriram here. This is from ShriLearning. So I have a T in front of me. You would have heard in front of me. You would have heard his name, seen before, and he's a person who cleared a PMP sometime back, a very short time, and again he came for PMI-ACP. So people are looking at here, oh man, 2 certificates. Yes, 2 certificates back to back. One good thing here is when you do 1 certificate, you automatically get the motivation. Let me do 1 more. Motivation is fine, but you have to put the effort. There are many people motivated by a WhatsApp message, but after that, what are you doing? That's a question. So here, I think put a lot of effort and make it a ACP happen. Don't take it for granted. A person did the PMP, already they have 50% Agile. Just go there, clear ACP. No, we will listen from him, because PMI has its own standard for ACP as well. Agile is there, but again, the bar will be a little higher comparing to what it was a few years back. They've increased it, because when PMP has Agile, why should somebody do ACP? In ACP, they go a little broader depth, and now he cracked it. So first thing, before I even say congratulations to him personally, first I'll bring up the screen. That's very important. All right, so this is a certificate. He got it. What is the date? 21st April, right? So we are in 23rd April, 2 days before he cleared this. Now let's congratulate him. Congratulations, Adi, for this wonderful achievement.
Thank you, Shriram.
All right. Project Miracle, okay, organization in the world, says he what all can share. So is it mandatory that everyone should gather the certificate? The answer could be, if you feel that without certificate I can shine, yeah, you can. But when you have a certificate, it gives an immense confidence level. So first, so would you like to give some background about yourself and what made you to do the certifications?
Yeah, thank you, Shriram. And first of all, thanks for giving this opportunity to get into this face-to-face session. So to be frank, when I decided to take PMP, I was searching for multiple courses, be it ShriLearn or anything. Then one of my good friend named Sharath, he referred that he cleared both PMP and ACP through Shriram. So that's the time I started getting into searching much more about ShriLearning. Okay, and when I was searching much more about ShriLearning during that time, to be frank, I gone through many of the past colleagues' success stories. Because first of all, you need a constant guidance and confidence in ourselves that we are going to take such a valuable course in some of the reputed institute. So before investing anything, we obviously do a ground check, because we know most of the people comes with tremendous years of experience. They can't just blindly accept some institute or some mentor to get through it. So I done some groundwork. To be honest, I have watched a couple of PMP success stories, and in fact, I didn't stop that time. I in fact went myself one step ahead and watched some of the sessions from Shriram. Okay, because especially on the project management, stakeholder management, because if you gone through ShriLearning videos, you will be able to see some of the free courses which he used to do that. See, that's the moment it gives me a confidence that okay, this is not something where they just dump the material and walk through. They in fact actually put through into a proper session where they just starts from basics. See, since I am come from a proper project management background, I thought some of the sessions may not be much useful. But if you put yourself into some person who are limited project management experience or comes from complete different domain, who may need to clear PMP because of their project need or because of their career growth or anything, you can see that you just come with the open part. Shriram will fill you enough. So to be frank and honest, I just listen to his sessions. So with proper dedication. And one bad thing is all his sessions will be 4 hours. Okay, he will be very active and he will sit for 4 hours. I cannot sit for 4 hours. Okay, at a single place, even in office meetings itself, Shriram, I never sit more than 1 hour. I will just cut short it.
Okay.
But I most of the time I used to sit for till 2 hours, and then he will give you a break, and then I will doze off. Then next day morning, by the time when I woke up, Rahul would have uploaded everything. Then I start continuing this session. Okay, so this is how I made it. I made a PMP completely.
That's reasonable. That's reasonable, because I have heard this feedback from many people. Shriram, can we make it only 2 hours? It's reasonable to ask, but the content is very high. We know 40 hours of classes.
Correct.
I understand the pain.
Yeah, but one good thing is whatever he say, I used to take in notes. Okay, because some areas we know better, but there are some points which we may not think in that angle. When I say that angle, when we come with the pre-experience or pre-mindset, we thought this is how the topic or the management area generally act. But in the global standard, the perception and the viewpoint would be something different, which we may not even thought through in our day-to-day operation, or that wide thinking may not be sparked in that moment. Okay, so that time, since I know where I am lagging, I used to take notes. Okay, so I was a little bit dedicated in the class. I used to do proper active listening. I never step in and cut short or ask any questions and all. Because so I used to listen everything in the classes. But whenever I get stuck or anything, I used to constantly WhatsApp both Shriram and Rahul, and they are very proper, and you use that way the courses are and one good thing, Shriram, that weekly mock session. Okay, in fact, today when I was talking to Rahul, I said that I was asked the week mock, give a consistency in the improvement.
Right.
So that little bit of discipline I got into that, Shriram, honestly, which really helped me into cracking the exam.
Very
and and of course the writing habit. To be frank, I bought a note and everything. When the day first I write, my handwriting starts from Kanyakumari, it went till Delhi. I was not able to write in a straight line. Okay.
Okay.
Because after my college, it's been 15 years. Other than signature, I don't think so any place where I would ever written this much.
Right.
So yeah, so that initial weeks getting ourselves into the student mindset of regular writing and snapshot and pushing into the group, those things and all, just getting yourself into normal student education culture. Okay, that really helped, Shriram.
Very good. Good to know. Good to know. Good thing is you are able to follow that. That's a very important thing, because conveying the message is fine from our side, but somebody has to follow that, right? That's important.
Yeah, correct.
Right, understood. So okay, all good things there. I'm so happy. Thanks for doing that. Now you did a PMP. Then what made you to think for ACP?
See, to be frank, there are two things which pushed me to do ACP. One is the kind of recognition and the comments which I got. There are many PMP or many people who have proven many things in their career or in their industry started commenting me and congratulating me. So many of them even I am not aware. To be frank, over this last 2-3 months, I would have got more than 100 plus LinkedIn invites and messages across the globe.
Wow.
Okay, so when you feel that people are just watching you and even congratulating you in spite of their busy schedule without knowing who we are and all, I thought, okay, then this certification is really valid. And even in the organization, people started, because I was just a 1 month baby in such a big organization, and people started congratulating me, saying that, okay, some person who just joined and cracked the PMP.
Wow.
And there are many people within the organization started approaching me, how you cleared, can you give us some tips, and such kind of voluntary calls and other things started coming, which really pushed me. And in fact, Sharath also called me and we told that don't stop the momentum, keep it up, because since you cleared ACP, you have a word with Sriram and Rahul. Then that evening itself, after that, I messaged you and Rahul, and you told that since you cleared that, why don't you take the classes?
Yeah.
Then I spoke to Rahul. He said, I believe you are in the travel mode. So he said currently recorded classes are there, but the next class will be on 30th of April. In fact, I was actually enrolled for 30th April class. But I started watching all your classes, consistently after that every Saturday and Sunday, because your recorded versions of the previous month classes was shared through Rahul. And I started reading it because the disciplinary was set. So every Saturday, Sunday, you have to spend for 2 to 4 hours for your classes. And I started consistently watching the classes. And because of that attitude, even if I drive or even if I have some free time, I used to watch the YouTubes. So I could able to complete your classes faster.
Very good.
Okay,
Very good.
I could able to complete the classes faster. And since we have been giving this mock of Agile classes for almost for the past 18 plus weeks.
Right.
I thought, let me give some more marks, and including PMP. I mean, when I say including PMP, including the PMP period Agile Sunday marks, I could have done some 10 marks, I believe, 10 to 12 marks. And the last 4-6 marks course comes up 80 plus. Then you told me, okay, you try full mark. And I just gave all couple of 3 full marks because that 3 holidays was that because of this Good Friday. And I thought, anyhow, there is nothing there here. Weather is horrible. We can't even go outside. So I thought, let me give you a try every day. So every day I tried and I have shared the scores. You said you will be able to rock it.
Yeah.
Then I thought, okay, I will go and do. But one thing I just want to bring it to the notice. This is just my observation. PMP standpoint, I personally feel your classes and one round of walkthrough of Rita and one round of go through of Agile practice guide is more than service, as long as people are able to properly attend all the classes and take seriously mock exams and full exams. Okay, I'm not sure it may help for others, but just for the better newcomers, I just want to share this. I had done almost 10-40 marks, top 40 weekly marks, 10 times, and then 5 full marks. So most of the learnings I had done was learn from the mistakes. Okay, so I was very disciplined in taking the notes of both the correct answers as well as wrong answers, why I am wrong. So in that way, so each day I am learning something new. In fact, down the time, I used to think that I used to fail here rather fail there, so that I get to know, pay more attention on where I am lagging. Okay, so and people don't need to take any other pre-mock or any PMP mock or anything. Just ShriLearning full marks are more than enough for any people to clear PMP with flying colors. Okay, I just read only once Ritamalachi and only once Agile practice guide. So people don't need to worry that nothing is going inside the head and all. PMP will not ask anything, any single direct question from the book. All they ask is, have you understand the concepts? Were you able to take the right decision on the scenario provided in the situation?
Right.
So that way people can easily clear the PMP exams. I have 100% confident that learn from the mistakes and be disciplined in taking the mocks.
Right. So one question now. Since you read for PMP with the PMBOK or Rita or Agile Practice Guide, now you got all Agile concepts. But when it comes to ACP, ACP, we cannot take lightweight. It has its own weightage. So I believe you read Mike Griffith book.
Correct, Sriram. See, to be frank, I was in the mindset, even in our classes and the people who got cleared off when I was in the training period, they told that ACP is quite easy. Okay, and even when I was checking with the people told that among the complexity level, if PMP is 9 bar 10, ACP is 6 bar 10 only, 6 or 5 bar 10 only. So I was little childish, thought that okay, anyhow we cleared PMP, ACP will be nothing. And I don't know whether it's a good luck or bad luck. Mark scores also came out very well, above 80, 85 and all. So I thought, okay, we can clearly swim through. But when I cleared my first mark, you told that don't take it light note, because you hearing from the last couple of people who taken the exam that ACP level is quite high. Okay, so that triggered. Even Rahul told me that sir, don't take it light. So I went and read Agile Practice Guide one more time.
Okay,
because Ritamalachi was heavy. Heavy means number of pages. Though the book was decent, the pages wise I thought it will be heavy. So I just read one more time of Ritamalachi, and then as usual I just went through the notes and I just understand all the concepts and all. Complexity level, to be frank, I feel ACP is tougher for me. Compared to PMP, ACP is tougher because PMP you will be easily able to gauge, okay, this is what the situation, this is what it is. But ACP, it is really tougher. There are two things put me in trouble. One, you will not get break. So you have to stretch it out 120 questions in a single sit-up.
Welcome back. Hope I'm audible to you. So much would have observed the success story. Is there any good information from the success story of PMI-ACP? Okay, first, am I audible to everyone? Visible to everyone?
Yes, Sriram. Yes.
All right. Did you got any hint from the success story? One thing he was saying, hey, exam was tougher. I know this. This gives a little alert to us. Okay, don't be so take it easy for the exam. You have to work it out. But I have different varying experience. For example, yesterday Pleasant cleared the PMI-ACP. He was able to complete the exam in 2 hours. Actually, the exam was 3 hours. He said it was pretty smooth walk. Few questions it was a little crazy, but the rest all was few easy walk. Quickly I was able to clear the exam. What I'm observing now is the people who already worked in Agile, it is getting better. Someone who's newly learning, definitely takes some time. So people are learning Agile and you don't need to worry, but you have to work out a little extra to make sure that you understood the concepts properly. That's it. If not, exam is moderate to me. And some of them saying it's a tougher, some of them easier. Let's keep it in the moderate level. Okay. All right, with this, we'll kickstart again. We'll get back to the subject. Hope the break was useful and you refresh yourself and you feel active. Quickly confirm you're able to see the screen, what I'm sharing. Also, the audio is coming up good. Everything is good. Let's get on the subject.
Written.
Very good. So now let's continue with the Agile learning. In Agile, for now the video would have showed the leftmost and the rightmost. Two things are here. What is leftmost? What is rightmost? Okay. When I say leftmost, we call it as a mindset. Agile, we call it as a mindset in the sense of thinking in the direction of how can we help the customer to achieve in a shorter time duration, or at least to help your team members, the people who are working, to think in a very productive way, which can be more valuable to the customer. Both are same. One is the customer saying that how can we satisfy? Other one is what do you think? How can we do it? Valuable delivery. Now the mindset. Why we keep telling mindset is Agile is not something like a number of rules to tell that if you follow these rules, you will win the game. No, it's a kind of a thought process which takes some time to digest and practice it. On the rightmost, what you're seeing is some of the methods and framework which you all written down in the mirror sheet. You said, I know Kanban, I know Scrum, I know Scaled Agile. These are methods. If you see a lot of a red ball are here, all these are nothing but some methods. Today we know Kanban, Scrum. Tomorrow something will come. But this is important. But more than this, the mindset is very important. First, you come out of the restricted mindset and come to the open mindset. How to come for that? For which we have 4 values and 12 principles defined in the year 2001. So how this is working, Shriram? Let me understand. Let me give some highlight. So what happened here is we are talking agility from the year 1950s. It is there. Maybe 1970, it could have picked up really well. And in the 1990 was a boom time. And this time of 1990 to 2000, you found very good stuff coming up. Like Scrum picked up very heavily. Kanban picked up, extreme programming, lean product management. So these all picked up very heavily in the year between 1990 and 2000. Each one individually were working on their own method. Then they decided why we work individually. Let's all put things together. When they put together, it happened in the year 2001. When all these guys who were working on these methods and framework, the founders of them, came in and they said, let's come to a common conclusion. And that common conclusion is called as Agile. The Agile, where they written 4 manifesto and 12 principles saying that how can we serve the customer very effectively, at the same time respecting the people who do the work. So it's a kind of a win-win for the people who does the work, the people who is going to get the outcome. Both are respected. Now, this was written in the year 2001 after a lot of boiling under. The boiling under is we were following a lot of industrial model. The industrial model is a hierarchy model. You'll have a senior manager, architects, designers, only they think, the rest of them has to only execute it. This format was good in some industry, whereas when it comes to information technology on those days, I'm telling, it doesn't work out. They said that no, having a format of senior manager, architect, designers, and testing team, this model is fine, but they should have their own way of doing things. We should not pressurize by hierarchy. And that's the reason they broke all these concepts and came to a new way of working. So how it's going to be new? We have to learn that. For that, first you have to get an understanding of this 12 and 4. In this room, I will have more than 50 or 70% people who knows this principle in the fingertips. They know everything well. But let's put things together to see why these methods are valuable based on the principle. Let me ask this quick question. How many of you here could aware of principles? You have seen this principle a few times. Anyone here? You would have read the principles. Okay. All right. Few bunch of people knows the principles really well. All right. So this is good because good to see people are aware of principles. You would have done as a writing habit when you did PMP. If you're new here, I would expect you to write this 4 and 12 principles regularly because it's very important for you to get the hold of subject. Let's understand some analogy and understanding of how Agile look like. In fact, Agile is not needed. That's what some industry says because our industries are well-planned industry. I may not start the work without planning. So there are some work where we need set of people to plan as a long stretch so that they can give one-time delivery to the customer. There are corporates where you may not be able to deliver it one shot. You may need a feedback cycle. You will deliver something, then you will incremental delivery will happen. So what is expected in some other industries is you can make only short-term plan to do this again from here, and maybe one day you will tell I'm done with the final delivery. So there are two variety of ways of looking. One is a long-term, one is a short-term. What happened is in 2000 and 1990 is they took this method of long-term and apply in industry where it cannot work in that order, and it was a failure. That is the reason they started looking at short-term. But why short-term? As the question still exists, why short-term? Why can't we go long-term? Why this industry is looking for a short-term? Let's see in a video which will give an explanation how they do it in a short-term, also why it is a short-term.
This is St James's Park, home of Newcastle United Football Club. I was born in Newcastle and grew up a few miles out of town. In Newcastle, they say that football isn't life or death. It's more important than that. Alas, my own football skills were distinctly lacking. But there was a game we'd play at the back of the classroom when the teacher wasn't looking. Football, kind of. I'm sketchy on the rules. I guess we'd take turns to get across the pitch and...
Nice strike! Oh, better than nice! Wonderful!
It struck me recently that the game is a rather lovely demonstration of Agile. We have value delivered in small increments as the ball makes its way up the pitch. And we have the opportunity to course correct. Turns out that it's easy to recover from a wayward first kick. It's taken me decades to work out how to really play this game. Now, where did I put my special pencil? Ah, here it is. My turn. Ready, aim. Aim some more, and...
Good shot, it's in! Final minutes!
As I'm sure you've guessed, this enormous pencil represents a waterfall approach. It's an all eggs in one basket approach. We design, build and test this Leviathan and launch it onto the world. It's either a big hit or a big miss. No second chances. If our aim is true, if the playing field is flat, if the goalposts don't move, we're on to a winner. But for me, that's an awful lot of ifs, an awful lot of risk. In an uncertain world, the enormous pencil starts to look less like an unfair advantage and more like a big-assed liability. In an uncertain world, we need a pencil that's more, what's the right word? Agile. With this small but perfectly formed agile pencil, our aim doesn't need to be true, the playing field doesn't need to be flat, and the goalposts don't need to stay put. All that we're really required to do is keep kicking.
Oh, what about that?
So what did you make of the what is agile pencil analogy?
All right. Did you found that this message was pretty clear that you no need to have a concrete end to start something. You can keep doing course correction. Okay, let me listen to you. When you watch this video, what is your observation? when you say about the bigger pencil and smaller pencil of moving, what was your observation?
So in Agile, values are delivered in small increment.
Okay. Why we have to do in small increment?
So that we can correct ourselves, or we have the opportunity to correct ourselves or in the project.
Feedback.
Yeah.
When you say correction, you take a feedback.
Yeah.
Okay. One interesting factor. Nice for sharing that.
Sometimes customer will simply will not be clear what he wants actually. So this will help us in giving incremental show some value and we can give it back. Actually.
Makes sense, right? The customer is not clear on what it is.
And the requirements, in terms of requirements, sometimes so
possible.
It's like it's possible.
Yeah, highly possible. Highly possible that they are not aware of what it is. Also, they want to understand from the market trend and then make a decision. Okay, that's also a good thought. Good. Rupal says baby steps to goal. Rupal, why we say baby steps? Why can't we take bigger? We have all the experts in the market. Then why we can't take a bigger steps?
Bigger step would be on the perception of the end goal. But with the current situation, the market fluctuations, things like regulations coming in, changes the direction of the work that we are doing at times, even during the development life cycle. I go with a big bang, I cannot accommodate the changes.
All right, got you. Rupal, you remember one thing, when we do writing habits, you would have done something called project level of complexity is very high. There we go for Agile. Have you observed it?
Yes, continuum.
Yeah. There are some projects, some work with the complexity level is high. So when the complexity level is high, what you're saying is good to take a baby step to see, to research something and move as a iterative or incremental model so that we can resolve the biggest problem inch by inch. So the question is from the people is why we have to do inch by inch? Why can't we just make a drastic plan and do it? This is all they did for so many years. Some succeeded. We can't say no for it. Many failed. There's a difference between some succeeding, many failed. You put a lot of money, effort, everything involved. And after 1 month or after 5 years, we come to know that that's not working. Because the plan, what you made, when the time you implemented, the whole world has changed. So you're wrong. So rather you make a smaller steps. You start moving forward, resolving the complicated and complex thing as a step by step. The one information I want to pass through the message of by playing this video is, don't think that long or bigger pencil is a problem. It's not a problem. If you are known the situation clearly, if your goal post is clear, your playing field is flat, you can play, nothing wrong. But we pick up Agile for some of the places where the complexity level is high, where the end vision clarity is not there. Or I may feel that my end user will use it, taste it, smell it, and then will tell, this is good, but can you add something more on this? So I'm expecting some sort of inputs from them. If that's the case, I can keep doing course correction. Off late, if you go to a restaurant, something like a barbecue nation. Have you all been to observe barbecue nation, this model of hotels, restaurants? Have you been there? If you have been there, if you go as a family for a food, I have seen many times a chef comes out and talks to the whole set of people at the table and asks them how the food is today. And ask, do you have any specific request? You can give me if you want to add more spice, if you want more details, he or she will listen to you. Based on that, they make course correction. And this course correction is what reaching the goal. Just a minute, some fire engine and stuff like that. Sorry guys, some fire engine or police vehicle is going, heavy sounds. Okay, now that's the message I want to convey here. So what I want to put in front of you here is, you should not think Agile is for everything. And also you should not think non-Agile is wrong, nothing like that. Agile helps to solve some of the problems. As I saw something smaller steps, the baby steps, you take towards it. All right, any other thought before we move to the next one? What is running in your mind when you watch this video as Agile?
Sriram, if we fail also in a sprint, it will give some picture where we are failing, and it reduces risk basically in small increments. So it will in turn, instead of getting a big loss, it will be a small loss. Fail fast. That is one advantage.
Basically, your sunk cost can be reduced.
Yeah.
Have you heard about sunk cost?
Sunk cost, yeah, the amount spent till date in the project.
Right. The money which will not come back to you, gone is gone.
Yeah.
Right. If I fail overall, huge money loss, whereas smaller money loss, what I'm seeing. Good. Super, man. All people are super good. Your knowledge is really good. One more point. Sivaraman. I'm sorry, I missed the other point also. Kalpana, I missed your point. Better hold on change management. Hey, I like this point. Kalpana, you want to say something about it? Change management? Very important topic. Better hold on change management. What do you mean by change management?
Yes, Sriram. Actually, in software development role, whenever you take a requirement, if you follow Agile, then you build something like breaking those requirements into small tasks and then building it. So sometimes what happen, like when we present it back to customer, then they sometimes when you prepare whole lot of things and then you present it, then they will say, oh, I missed this mapping files, I missed this thing. So again, we have to build it from start. So for that, like when you are building some use cases or feature enhancement, then at that time, at least if you are taking some of those steps, then it will hold, like there will be better control in that change management aspects actually. So that is my thought.
Makes sense, right? You know what you said is called the Gulf of Evolution. The customer thinks something, communicate it, we receive it because we want to do that. When you do that and hand it over back to the customer says, no, I didn't ask for this, I asked something else. So you'll be surprised, man, you said A, now we're asking C. But what we did is D. So it's good always not to make a bigger step, rather make a smaller step. So at least we know the gap, what they asked and what we're going to deliver. Fantastic. I like that point. Sivaraman, improves flexibility while using Agile. Flexibility. When you say flexibility, is it for the team, customer, requirement? What sort of flexibility? Sivaraman, do you have any points on that for flexibility? Requirement flexibility. Okay, and team as well. Okay, good, nice to know. All right, thanks for all the points. Let's get inside. So in the screen, one more time, it's an explanation about the traditional format and Agile format. Here, it is given to show you that how the risk reduction happens. Do you all see the yellow or red dotted lines? Do you see the screen? If you can see those lines, what we are showing here is we're going to show about how this will impact our customer satisfaction model. Before Agile is being used some years back, we were following a traditional model for implementing the work which needs more complexity, which has more research needed. Now, what happened is you define the work, you develop or build it, you release to the customer, and value goes to the market. It takes its own time. Imagine it takes a year of time, or 8 months, or 5 months, or 3 years of time, something they're going to build. Now, when we start the work, we know what all the risk can happen. Also, the intention of doing this work is to reduce the risk in the future. Now, what happened here is the customer gave the work, we defined it. The same customer will view the product only end while we deliver. Now, until then, we are carrying the risk with us. At times, it will be super good work. At times, it's super good work, and all is well. Nothing to worry about it. But many times, what happens is it's a surprise to the customer at the last point of time. And here comes a lot of issues, contract-related changes, money flies high, or new risk pop-ups. Everything happens in the final. Now, this was not working well for projects which has more complexity, which needs more changes. which is really it's really complicated. Now, what happened here is, by the same time, we have brought something called Agile. In Agile, what they do here is, rather you define, let's say, 90% of the work or 100% of the work, which usually they do for some of the predicted project. Here, they plan some portion of the work. Let's imagine you may know what to do. You know the end goal. End goal is clear. A banking system want to digitalize the whole banking system. They're clear what to do. There is a shopping cart, shoppingcart.com. They want to know how the shopping cart will look like. They're clear of what it is. They're pretty clear on this. But the question is, I don't want to define it all in advance because I don't know what will be the end goal. So rather what we do is we define a short cycle, maybe 10% of the work out of the overall work. Why I'm mentioning here is you should not think Agile will start without having an end goal in mind. The answer is Agile knows the end goal. They know what to do. They know a banking system modernization. They know their shopping website is coming. They know they're going to digitalize the government segment. They know that through digital system, they're going to operate their car. They know they're going to use a digital system to approve your passport, deliver your passport. They know that. But I don't want to define all the work on the same day. Rather, I will take 10% of the overall work. I may define it. I may do that. I may release to the customer and I'll get the feedback from the customer. A cycle. Now, what I'm doing is I don't carry the risk of my product known or unknown till the end. I don't carry the risk of technology failure. I don't carry the risk of market unaccepting the work what I gave to them. Rather, I do a small portion, give to the customer, I get the acceptance from the market. I reduce the risk of technology failure. I reduce the risk of requirement misunderstanding. Now, who evaluate this? Evaluate by the customer himself who is going to come and check it. So what is happening here, rather doing here, I'm doing a little early in the cycle, so I know what it is. So if it is good, I will add another increment. Next to 20% I can define. Another 10% I can define. Another 20% I can define. So what I'm doing is I'm slowly improving my way of working. So I'm resolving my complex work or complicated work part by part by part. This is supported in Agile for a long time and people started liking this model, but be watchful. If your project is an information technology software, still it can be properly defined. You go for that. Because you are working in a knowledge-based project, don't force fit Agile there. None of the Agile book says that you have to force fit it. If it is not needed, not needed. But if you feel you can reduce the risk by showing to the customer regularly, that will help. But those days, what they did is they reduce the risk by showing work breakdown structure to the customer, architecture document to the customer, design document to the customer, Visio to the customer, UML to the customer. Do you think these all will help the customer? It used to help in some industry. It used to help. These all documents, it's all called artifacts. Have you heard the term artifacts? Artifacts, outcome, deliverable. This will help. I think wrong, it will help. But you may live in an industry where you need some outcome to be tested, tasted, smelled. You should feel it. If you don't feel it, then you cannot proceed to the next one. If I go to the restaurant as a family, I may order for a soup to taste it. Then I order from some starters to have it. Then I go for the main course. I'm not sitting in an industry where all this food will come on one shot. It may be a total failure. Rather, I start with the soup. I understand when the spice is very high, you can reduce it. Or not good, stop this hotel, go to the next one. Now, this option is needed for some industry. I'm repeating again, it's only for some industry. Because there are some misconceptions in the industry that everything will go to Agile. No, everything will become traditional. No, it can be individual or it can become hybrid. Both are possible. All right, I believe you got some clue. Let's go a little more. Before I jump in, let me know, are you living in an industry where it is the picture, top layer or bottom layer, where you live? Let me see your thoughts there. Top layer, bottom layer. I'm not seeing any message. Where you live in, top or bottom, or it is something both, mix of it. Middle layer. Okay. Management layer. Now the question is your project working in the well-planned model still now, or you have a model of adaptive or a hybrid of it? What it is happening there for you? Hybrid model, you see that? Okay. Okay, it's a mix of things. Some of them going adaptive model also. I'm seeing more coming, adaptives coming here. Good to see. Now, why I ask this question is, I want you to be aware of what model you want. You and me may not take time to sit and think how my company is working. And because somebody said follow Agile, we'll be following. But your company needs proper plan-driven work. You can recommend that. Or your company doing in a plan-driven, which can need a hybrid model. That also helps you. All right, let's understand some more. Some historical background. This screen, some of you would have seen earlier. Look at the right side. How many methods you see in this umbrella? Can you quickly count it? How many methods you see there? Seven methods, 8 methods. Okay. In this, which one is the most popular method? Okay, Scrum is considered the most popular. Yeah. Okay. But currently in the industry, are we using only Scrum or mix of many methods? Majority of the industries are using Scrum as a method. However, there are more mix happening. Okay. Anyone here scaled Agile certified or scaled Agile learned? Sivaraman says, depending on the project complexity. I think Anita should be right. Anita, you recently learned scaled Agile. Do you see individual method or a mix of all?
It's a mix of all, Shriram.
So what are the methods you saw in scaled Agile?
Generally, we will be having a framework. In the bottom layer, we can implement all the Agile methods depending upon the requirements.
Right. So you would have primarily seen in scaled Agile, Scrum is being used. You will see Kanban is used for handling the requirements. You will see extreme programming is used for some of the key, like refactoring, technical depths, architectural runway. Yeah. You would see lean management at the level of enterprise level. You would have seen these things. So if you say I have 4 terms are there: Scrum, Kanban, lean, and extreme programming. All 4 are there. So when you become a scalability, it's all coming in. So what I'm seeing currently is the market. We are not living with the one, we're living with the multiple. But the major portion of the share in the market still exists with the Scrum, because Scrum is one of the best framework which helps us to handle in a shorter cycle. That's a model. Apart from that, we have FDD, DSDM, few more are there in the market. But we will not go so deep inside, which is not highly used, but it will take some essence out of it. That's what it is. On the left, I have given some information. This is showing some historical information of when the model of Agile is followed. One more time. Not sure. Last over half an hour, I keep hearing more fire engines are moving around. Hope things are good at the other side. Okay, coming out here, origins of Agile. Why I put the screen is, I don't want you to think Agile is so trendy, so latest. So the people with more experience may not know this. Don't think that Agile came just pass out of college last year. It's not of such a fresh student. You can see an iterative incremental model, which is followed from 1950s. The two-person called Takuchi Nanoka, these people published a paper called The New Product Development, which was pretty famous paper. From there, it started talking about the word called Scrum. The sports are rugby. In the rugby, they join as a team and move forward to apply and win the game. Same format Takuchi Nanoka thought could be useful for product development in 1986. In 1986, it was a hierarchy model. A designer will tell something, everybody has to follow it. Management will tell that something has to follow it. When Takuchi Nanoka written it, they found that rather doing like that, let's put team together, let the team decide what to do. It was new in 1986. Today, you and me are talking, oh, Agile means people can do. But imagine 30 years back, how would it have been? It was totally different. In 1990s, a golden period of Agile, 1990s. The Scrum came in, extreme programming came in, and the Kanban was redefined. And then we have a lean was redefined, all happened. 2001 is a time they all joined together, written down Agile Manifesto. Okay. Agility is there for a long time. Let me ask you the question. The moment I use the word agile, are you getting these two terms? One is speed, other one is perfection. If you're getting this, you're good. If not, please note down. Agile will go for two words. One is speed and perfection. Something can go pretty faster to the market. Also, it will be so perfect for the use for the customer and the quality will be high. Do you think anything in the market or anyone in the market who have a good speed, also perfection, would be highly demanded? If you go to sports, you may have some football players who are good speed with a good perfection. You may have an athlete like Usain Bolt, speed and perfection. You may have some cricket players, speed and perfection. You may have some music or musician with speed and perfection. You may have some dancer, speed and perfection. So when you have speed and perfection, people like it. But in order to be speed and perfect, you cannot take a big chunk of work. Big chunk of work, you can't be speed and perfect. Rather, what do you do? Small piece of work. So how to make it small piece of work? That's what you're going to learn now. The message here is Agile is a thought process to make it faster, at the same time, good perfection. There is a short video. You could have seen this video earlier. Just a repetition for some of you, or some of you is new. I want you to see this video from the Agile perspective in the name of PMI-ACP. I want you to observe two words very carefully. One is iterative. Other one is incremental, or they call it as iterative and incremental. Now, iterative and incremental, what it actually means. Once you understand this, you can put iterative and incremental together. When you blend these two things together, the outcome is called Agile. So first thing, you have to understand what is iterative and incremental. Iterative and incremental is not a new word. It is there in the industry for so many years. Something you do repeatedly until it gets perfect, that's called iterative. Something you do repeatedly until it gets perfect, that's called iterative. Incremental is take a piece, you keep adding. Incremental. If I go to a restaurant, somebody will deliver me food incrementally. Start with soup, starters, main course, ice cream incrementally to reach my destination called lunch. My destination is a lunch incrementally. In order to do incrementally, iteratively or iteratively, the bearer comes to my table, request what do you want next? Would you like this? Suggest something, take feedback. When this together happens, it's called Agile. So you can even work iteratively, you can even work incrementally, but only when you mix together, it becomes Agile. Now let me ask this question. Two words I said for Agile. What are the two keywords? If you remember it, what are the two keywords?
Speed and incremental.
Speed.
Speed perfection. Speed perfection.
Speed and perfection. To be speed, to be perfect, I gave some more terms for you. What it is?
Iterative and incremental.
Sorry, repeat again. Can you take a big piece of work to make it speed and perfect? It's possible.
No.
Possible once in a blue moon. Once in a time you can, but you cannot take it all the time, right? The better way is put it into pieces and make it a small piece. Easy to say, hard to do. But first you have to get the mindset of how to make it as a deliverable faster with the perfection with a smaller piece. So let's watch this video, which gives some clue for us what they. For benefit of all, I'm going to put everyone in the mute mode or as a background sound, and I'm going to play the video. Here we go.
If the requirements are not known or not clear, it adds to the complexity. And waterfall approach may not be appropriate for the complex projects. Before I go any further, let's start with this weird analogy. Assume a project is initiated to fill this pothole. If we know the exact dimensions of the pothole or the requirements are known, then the project phases can be sequential. It starts with the dimensions or requirements, design and prepare the mold, pour the concrete material, finishing of the block, and fill the pothole. Sequential and easy to manage, isn't it? This is called the waterfall approach. As we know, it works only if all the requirements are known and clearly understood at the beginning. If we don't know the dimensions of the pothole, then it becomes a complex problem. In this case, how to solve the complex problem when the requirements are not known at the start of the project? In the same example, assume you don't know the dimensions of the pothole. Therefore, you decide to chisel out the shape to fill the gap. You go on refining the shape by carving and cutting it over and over again. This is called iterative approach. You refine or iterate until you carve the block to perfectly fit into the pothole. Therefore, even though you do not know the dimensions or requirements, you could fill the gap with multiple iterations. This is called the iterative approach. Now, let us solve this complex problem in yet another way. You create a square block and deliver it to the customer. Customer places the square block in the pothole and gives you feedback. You create more incremental blocks based on the feedback and fill the pothole. If I name these blocks as increments, then this is called the incremental approach. Here, the customer does not have to wait till the end of the project. Customer can start using the increments and gives out feedbacks towards the completion of the project. Therefore, even though you didn't know the dimensions to start with, you could fill the gap with incremental approach. Another smart way of handling it when the requirements are unknown. Yet another scenario. Here, you have absolutely no clue how big or small is the pothole. In this case, you decided to deliver smaller bricks. With continuous customer feedback, you could send the bricks in appropriate size and shape. You also chisel out some of the bricks to fit them in the pothole. Therefore, these smaller deliveries are incremental as well as iterative. This is a smart approach when you have too many unknowns or unclear requirements. And this is called Agile approach towards solving the complex problem. Okay, with this weird analogy, isn't it easy to remember the concept? So, we have seen the waterfall approach, we have seen the iterative approach, we have seen the incremental approach, and we have also seen the agile approach. Don't you think these visuals not only help to digest the concept quickly, but also help to remember it for longer? Now, let us summarize it with real-world example of website development project. When all the requirements are known and clearly understood at the beginning of the website development project, we can follow the waterfall approach. We execute the project phases in sequence and deliver complete functional website at the end. When the requirements are not known at the beginning, we can take the iterative approach. It starts with creating the website with very basic framework. We go on refining or chiseling out the website in subsequent iterations to deliver the final product. Iterative approach is all about refining the product through iterations until all customer requirements are met. Now, let us look at incremental approach to deal with complexity of unknown requirements. Here, we deliver functional website with few important features that the customer can start using. This is called the first increment. Then, we go on adding the new features in the form of increments. It continues until the final product is delivered. This way, the final product is delivered through multiple increments. Now, let us look at the most preferred approach to deal with complexity. It is the Agile approach. Here, we deliver the smaller increments as well as refine the website through iteration. Here, the customer's feedback and change in requirements are adapted through multiple iterative and incremental deliveries. Iterations and increments continue until the final product is delivered. Due to this multiple delivery model, the project team can adapt to the changing requirements. Agile approach is the most preferred approach for the complex adaptive problems. And therefore, for addressing such complex adaptive problems in the most productive and creative manner, we need a systematic framework. A simple and lightweight framework is at our disposal called Scrum.
Okay. Now, some of you would have seen this video earlier or maybe seeing for the first time. When you see this video, you could have observed two things very carefully. One is iterative, other is incremental. Now, you let me know, do you think these two has to work together all the time? Or you found in your job, it works individually. Your company works only in the incremental model. They don't do iterations. Or they do iterations to get the feedback, but no need to take incremental. They'll take feedback, improve, feedback, improve, feedback, improve, but they give the final delivery. What model you have seen in your corporate so far? Do anyone have the comments from your corporate? What you see?
If the requirement.
Okay.
It will be incremental, Sriram.
Increments. Okay. I'm seeing Rupal says increments. Raghavendra says increment. Reporting for regulatory. Okay. Good to see. Good to see some of them working in incremental. But now, after observing this video, are you getting a fair idea that in order to be agile, you need to take a feedback cycle regularly, which we call as iterative. You repeat certain things to get an idea of what we have done, and we show to the customer, and customer gives back you feedback. Yes, it is good, or they can give some change in the requirement. You could observe the video, they would have said, when the requirement is not clear and certain things are unknown, there could be more risk. There we go for an iterative model or incremental model to take inputs from the customer and make updates accordingly. Right? That's one should be the key point you observe. Okay, I'm seeing Sivaraman says feedback and improve will be good for maintenance project, but new project needs agile. Got you. Good. All right. So far, any questions? What are you seeing right now? All right, let's move in that case. Have you ever seen these people anywhere? Anywhere in your life? Okay. Seen PMP, okay. Do you or have you ever seen one of this person in the movie Avatar? You see this guy? No. Not now the Avatar new version. I'm talking Avatar old version. Have you seen this guys? Okay. If you've not seen anyone, I'm sure they are not in the movie. This 17 people are the one who were the founders of certain agile frameworks and methods, which we call as Scrum or Kanban or Extreme Programming. They come in. So now what happened is the 17 people are individually expertise on their own area. However it is, they want to put together things. They joined some years back, like 2001, and tried to put things together. In this, certain names will be very popular names, like if you see Judge Sutherland and Ken Scumber. These two people are pretty important people because they both joined together. What they found? Any idea? Jeff and Ken. Jeff and Ken are the founders of Scrum methodology. Yeah, rightly said, Scrum. Okay, one other very important person you have to learn is Ken Beck. Ken Beck is very famous for extreme programming. Alistair is very famous for what? Crystal methodology. Okay, like this, we have people around here. These are the people who made the base for you, what you're learning today. Okay. Now let's see some factors on Scrum. Scrum is being used by companies which follow Agile, where they use a 58% or more than that, they follow Scrum as a framework. And then we have few more here, list of things are there. Some of the companies follow Scrum Bun, which means mix of Kanban and Scrum. I'll explain that when I go to a section called hybrid. And there is something called Kanban model. There is something called extreme programming. There are a lot of methods. There is no restriction. This is how you have to follow. Up to you. But many people feel that Scrum is so standardized so that I don't need to do any modification. Just take it, apply it, it works. It's something like watching a YouTube for a recipe, food recipe, and just follow the recipe, it'll work. So Scrum has become such a model. Okay, that's why Scrum is very interested and people like it. This is why we do certification called CSM, or you do certification called PSM. But what will happen is you will learn Scrum really well, happy, but market is not with this, right? You see some company follows Scrum, some is Kanban, and then you want to become a leader. I'm sure you have to know all these things. That's why you're sitting for the whole certificate, which is called PMI-ACP. When you complete the certification, you can talk for the whole chart. If not, you may know only one portion of it, but it's a major portion. Nothing wrong. But to become a good leader, you should know multi-factors. Quickly, some more information. Here, you see big circle as a lean and rest all inside that. Can somebody interpret this image and let me know why lean should be the bigger circle? Why these things are inside that? What is the logic behind this? Anyone want to share something? Because I see some of you made as a writing habit for a long time. You may have some idea now. What is that? Doing value added work. Okay. Customer space element not paid. Okay. Anyone from here, automobile, manufacturing, construction, or industry which does lean concepts followed? Anyone here? I have some things. Okay. What you have learned as a lean in your corporate in these many years?
We normally use this eliminating waste, different kind of 7 types of waste in shop floor.
Okay. So, can you tell 1 or 2 waste if you remember anything?
So like waste movement, suppose there are 2 stations in the machines, in between the inventory is there. So our machine may be waiting for the material. There's an unnecessary movement of the manpower. So there are different type of things which we'll try to either automate or eliminate just in time kind of scheduling we do for the audience.
Perfectly said. Perfectly said. Do your company also think certain process like waiting time is a waste?
Yes.
Errors are waste. Extra process are waste. Right? Okay, good. Good, you got that. You gave a context. Lean means reduction of wastage primarily. Ideally, I see Rupal is putting that value delivery. You want to give something valuable. Very good. So Lean is a concept. Some says it's from 14th century exists. Some say it exists after Second World War, where Toyota picked up heavily for 1945 and 47. History says load factor. And Kanban is there from Japan from 12th, 11th century, or even before that, they're telling that, because Kanban means a signboard, visual. There is a flourishing period in Japan, they call it samurai period. Japan was super flourishing, the market was so good. They're giving an image, the big market, a lot of items there, they want to sell it, but they don't know how to show that to the people who walk on the street. So they first time draw pictures about what they are selling. Could be food, eatable, material, and then keep that board in front of the store. First time, okay, before we all get this electronics device these days or advertisements, that's the first time they made advertisements. So it's a signboard which is visible to everyone. From there, it originated called Kanban. Then it was used in Toyota for showing the inventory system. Now we use Kanban for inventory ticketing system, also the way of handling the work in process. So now lean is overall concept of reduction of wastage, giving value delivery. Kanban has portion of lean in order to reduce the wastage. Also, it has a portion of agility. Now, if you see, agile is inside the lean. If you think it's so bigger, it's inner the bubble of lean. Under agile bubble, we have a lot of small items. In that, one of that is Kanban, half of it, or one of that can be extreme programming. One of that will be Scrum. Now, why I want to show this picture is, because we learn only Scrum, we cannot assume ourselves we know everything. I don't want to say we have to learn a lot on the same day, but I want you to keep your eyes open and you feel you have to learn few methods, including what is Agile. You should also learn what is Kanban. I would expect you to learn what is extreme programming, and I would expect you to learn Lean as well. I'm sure you have to learn this, FDD, this, that. Yeah, read it, but get little more expertise on these areas, because these are also methods created some years back. We have taken some essence out of it, but we are not using in a day-to-day life. Whereas we use XP, Scrum, Kanban, Lean on a daily basis. So message here is, there is always some bigger circle, and under that one, we have all these factors here. Okay. All right. There is a question from Drupal. There are two circles touching as a sub part. XP, FDD, can you please explain? See, what happened here is, there are some methods, they interchange or use some of their best practices. Now, when you put XP and Scrum together, it works really well, because XP is a technical factor of how to do work as a pair programming, refactoring, technical debt reduction is so good in that area. Whereas a Scrum is super good in having a framework, defining the role clearly, timeline clearly, requirement clearly. It is a very structured way of working. When you get some benefit of both coming together, it really gives benefit in the sense of to the customer. Same way it applies for feature-driven development, dynamic system development model. Each one has its own benefits. So now we are seeing in the market, clubbing them or getting the benefit of each other's, it really helps. Some of the methods what you see here are working together. For example, you can see Scrumban in the market, Scrum plus XP in the market. I see some XP plus FDD in the market, feature-driven development. It's up to us which one to choose. To answer the question, it's a mix of good things coming in the market, but it is not mandatory you have to do that. But need basis, we'll do it. Okay, it's possible. All right, good. We are coming close to the time for first day, but quickly we'll see lean management, a short video. I want you to observe this, a short video, and let me know what makes this lean a little more effective than other system. Why Toyota preferred it as a best one those days. Let's quickly watch this.
Business is doing well, and you're thinking of expanding. That's great, but it's also the riskiest time for your business. In fact, many businesses don't survive the transition. Should you throw money at the problem by investing in new equipment or hiring more people? Should you make your staff work more overtime? Your answers to questions like these can make or break your business. And that's where Lean comes in. Lean is a philosophy about delivering value from your customer's perspective, eliminating waste, and continuously improving your processes. Lean can radically change the way you do business. Lean management is based on 4 principles. The first principle is pull. Rather than producing as much as possible, customer demand pulls goods or services through the manufacturing process. This minimizes overproduction, inventory, and ultimately working capital. The second is one-piece flow. Focusing on one single piece at a time minimizes work in progress, process interruptions, lead and waiting time, while increasing quality and flexibility. The third is tact. It's the heartbeat of a lean system. It's how fast you need to manufacture a product to meet customer demand. Tact allows us to balance work content, achieve a continuous flow, and respond flexibly to changes in the marketplace. And the fourth is zero defects. Mistakes happen, but a lean company doesn't pass on defects. Mistakes from previous steps must be fixed before going on. Combined with a robust continuous improvement process, the 4 principles of lean management will help your company stay ahead of the competition in a constantly changing marketplace. So, if you're ready to begin your lean journey.
All right, it's a very short video. I like that term talking about zero defect. How many of you like that term? Zero defect. If you give anything that doesn't have a defect, will you like it? Will you say, "Poop, I like that"? Okay, any other points you like? They said 4 main things for the lean. I'm sure I like the zero defect. Anyone else have any other points you liked in this? This is interesting. One-piece flow. What is it, Rupal? What is one-piece flow you liked? What do you mean by that?
It was focused on one deliverable at a time in the right direction, is what I understand.
But your customer is asking everything to be delivered faster, right? How can you go one at a time? They'll say, "Man, give me this, give me that, give me this." What do you do?
Well, it is driven by pull mechanism. So
okay,
it should go hand in hand with one piece flow. So even the cake that we saw, it had a base and topping. So that made a piece. And it was
perfect. Perfect. Do you see one word written by Sivaraman there? Last but one. Sivaraman has given a word. Sivaraman, why you put that word? It's prioritize. So Rupal, what you said is right. One piece flow is really good. But at the same time, when you say one piece, your customer cannot going to wait. They get, "Man, I want all right now." Now comes the word prioritization. Now the prioritization responsibility lies with the company which is doing the project or lies with the customer himself. What is your thought? The customer. I specifically pull this point. It's the biggest change from 1990s till now. Rupal, I just asked this question. The reason is the mindset has totally changed from the 1980 and 1990, where the customer willing to throw all the work towards the company which is doing the project and then fold the hands and wait outside. We will wait until you complete it. But they keep pressurizing, "Will you give me on time? Will you give me on time? Will you give me on time?" So what happened is, in the name of pressure, they added more money, more people, more tools. Is it sufficient? Sometimes it's failed. So now what happened is, lean concepts, we don't take exactly the same, but you take some ingredients of that, like zero defects or one flow. We start watching it. But one thing we changed a lot last 30 years is we don't struggle hard. Rather, we give the responsibility to the customer himself, because it's a complex project, because the market is keep fluctuating. So a company which is doing the work may not have a depth of knowledge, whereas customer has a better knowledge. When I say the customer, not the end user, the person who is actually asking me to do this, I would request him or her to be part of our system. It's a big change. You can be part of our system. You can sit with me on a daily basis. You won't command me, but you will support me. I'll be very careful here. No commanding here. No one is going to command you. But he or she, the person who asked you from the company, is going to be with you. Tell that this is the priority which to be delivered in this time box. Now, we will take some essence of lean, zero defect or one flow. We will take some essence from Kanban. We will take some essence from extreme programming. We will take some way of working from Scrum. You put together, that becomes Agile. Right? So Agile is not just one. It's a mix of all. Unfortunately, some of the certifications like the Scrum certified or the professional Scrum, they're helping, but they're not going depth there because I too learned the certifications. I felt they should add those ingredients of explaining why Agile is needed so that people don't stick only with the Scrum. They try to learn other factors also, which will help us to think as a company, management or leadership, how can I give value to the customer? That's the point. All
Business is
right, what I have. Okay, this is screen I have to explain you. Let's keep it here and we'll come back for next week. Tomorrow we don't have a class, you know that. So tomorrow we have a break for you. And next week when we start, we will start here to understand why Agile is needed. I would have given this a few minutes back. Even I was asking with the Rupal a question, why we go for it. I gave a clue about complex project. We go simple, you may not go there. Simple, not needed. You can go with it's a low uncertainty, very low uncertainty, nothing going to change. I'll give you a hint. I'll explain more the next week. Just a hint for you to write down and read it. Low uncertainty. I know people are available. I know the requirement better. I know the technology to be implemented. Yeah, technically I'm clear. Technically clear. Shriram, you are considering a biggest shopping mall. It should be complex, right? Not necessarily. Biggest shopping mall, but low uncertainty. I know things. I know technical. I know requirement. The shopping complex is so big. I'm not saying no for it. It's big. I agree. But I know how to do it. I can do that. I've done it before a few times. I know this. There is a small research work. Small research work. Requirement is unknown. Technical thing is so crazy. I will call it as complex. So one quick understanding to everyone. Not by the size of the work, you will tell complex or simple. It is about the ingredient of the work. Are you with me on this concept? It's not about the size. It's about the ingredient of that. Are you with me on this? If you get that, you'll get a clue that, okay, something which they do for years and years, so huge, it means it's complex. No. It's about the ingredients, the technical factors involved or requirements involved. This has more factors, then we call it as complex or complicated, where we have to think for Agile. But we'll park it here. I'll come back next week when we'll explain more depth on this because I have more concepts to talk about Agile, which is we have to discuss. Okay, we'll do that. All right, quickly, what we did today. Today is a kickstart day to tell you what is ACP exam. It's 120 questions and you have 3 hours of examination. We learned that. And there is no negative marking in the examination. And at the end of the exam, they'll give you pass, fail, only 2 things. And they have a grading system. How many domains you saw for PMI-ACP? How many domains?
7.
7 domains. In the domains, do we have any domain for people related? Do we?
2 domain.
Yeah.
2 domains are people related. Do we have any domain for planning?
Adaptive. Yes.
One is there.
One release.
Do we have any domain for problem or risk handling?
Yes.
Yes,
One.
one.
It is there. Do we have any domain for showing what is value delivery?
One domain.
Yes. One.
Do we have any domain which explains Scrum, Kanban, XP, Crystal, all methods?
Yes.
One domain.
Mindset.
One.
Principles.
So it's a properly distributed domain. And for this, there is something called exam content outline. In today's class, if you ask me what is a takeaway, you learned how a ACP exam look like. Also some success video saying little tough exam. I will say don't worry about that. We'll talk that later but going forward. because I have a person who cleared the exam in 2 hours yesterday. When he can do that, and everyone can do this. That's one. Also, I started stepping into the subject. We are in the lesson number 1. Lesson number 1 and 2 are a little bigger. I started explaining some concepts, very basic. From now on, it will go more deeper with a lot of concepts. Here in ACP, good thing is we have some exercise and some workshop to do. And we will do more so that you get a depth knowledge in the concepts. So this is where it is. So first, thanks a lot for everyone participating today. Some of you from PMP, non-PMP, but you learned something today. So what is expectation from you going forward? You have the book called Mike Griffith. You have the book called Agile Practice Guide. The next 1 week of time, I would expect you to please open the book and read the first chapter of Mike Griffith, which explains the concepts of Scrum, Kanban, XP, Agile leadership. Please read that completely. Time permits, take the weekly practice test of Agile. Shriram, I didn't read the book. Can I take the test? Please take it. It's okay. Whatever score comes in, let's do that. And third one is writing habits. Write it, click a picture, share in the WhatsApp group. Okay, these 3 things if we can do for next few days, when you come for next class, you start going deeper in the subject. Hope things are good. Any questions?
So tomorrow we don't have a classes, correct, Shriram?
We don't have tomorrow. Tomorrow is a holiday for you. You can have a good fun and you can come back.
Okay, thank you.
All right, good. Rupal is asking, Shriram, can you explain a biryani example? Are you serious?
Yes, yes.
I think we should have
Yusuf explaining the biryani.
Yusuf, you're here. The famous person for biryani example.
Many confused me a lot. I want that explanation now, biryani.
Not now. Not now. I know it's a biryani time for you there. Go ahead, have a good biryani. When you come back, we'll talk about it. Sure, we'll talk about iterative, incremental. Always I try to connect to the hotel food. The reason is it helps us to connect properly. I'll come to the screen. When I come to the screen with the details and explain it. Okay. Good point. All right, good. Have a good time. People who want to sign off, please sign off. And people in the YouTube, you can sign off if you want. People have questions, stay around. Let me try to answer a couple of your questions and then we'll go for the day. Quickly, any questions regarding the subject and exam?
Hi, Shriram. So the lean principles, right? 4 principles. I didn't understand the pull part of it.
Pull, yeah.
Specifically, when we talk about manufacturing, so where does it? What exactly it means?
Okay, before I jump in, I will pull in Kishan. Kishan, you see something on the lean concept?
Yeah. So
what makes you to connect with your manufacturing industry?
Yes, yes. So you want me to explain how lean is applied in the manufacturing? What is the?
No, Vinitra is asking a question. How pull can be taken in the manufacturing industry? Before I explain, I thought of taking something from you. If you can say something.
Example, I'll give you a real example what we're doing. See, normally Amaron we make batteries, right? So normally what we do is, suppose today's demand is suppose 300 batteries I need to pull in. So what is that demand will come as a just in time. So basically we will not produce and keep the stock. Now this Amar Raja batteries will say I need 300 batteries to be manufactured. That input goes to the injection molding factory. So accordingly we make this plastics and we do like that based on our supplier also. We pull it based on our demand from the customer. That is in a simple way to explain actually. So traditionally what will happen is we manufacture based on the forecasting demand for 1 + 2, 1 month + 2 months, like that they will give one. Some of the industries they give. There you maintain the stock. So here the disadvantage is you will have suppose there's a market scenario changes. So this inventory goes fast, inventory holding cost and all. So here what I'm not maintaining any inventory. As and when it is required, I'm producing based on the customer is pulling. That is what.
Got you. Pull method. Okay. Do you see any connection between this pull and what we do in the Kanban model? If you heard about Kanban, they have a pull method.
Yes, yes. So I don't know, manufacturing normally what we do is daily we put there are two types of cards we put it. So we schedule this many have to be produced. First, he will pull out whenever this production is completed. He will remove that production Kanban and replace it what is required. Suppose there is a shortage of 10 items for making that. Simply he completes that and he will put the other card. So accordingly, the replacement of the inventory will happen for the production. Like that, we use the cards actually. Kanban.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So it's more of visual representation of the shop floor of this.
Got it. Perfect. Thanks.
One question, Krishna.
So why I asked this question is, sorry, I didn't finish it off. So I'm basically from a manufacturing. So this pull actually did help us because, say for example, you know that one particular product is going to be repetitive every quarter. Buying a raw material in bulk was much more, less expensive than buying it every quarter. Say, for example, buying 1 ton of a raw material well in advance and keeping it as an inventory was much more cheaper than, getting it just in time. So that's why my question was, how is pull going to help him?
So what do you mean by cheaper?
I think my understanding is correct. Are you buying the raw material like steel and all?
Yeah, say mine is basically a powder.
Okay.
Yeah.
So typically it depends upon the type of manufacturing. For example, there are like a project based, like if you look at like a storage unit, I want to make it in IKEA, like what racking solution. Like example, I'm taking as a steel as raw material. So normally now current scenario, it is very volatile raw material market. So it all, if your demand is very predictable and you can keep it so that you can leverage that cost benefit for using the production. But whereas if it is like a C-class items where it is readily available, then you don't need actually, like just in time you can buy and put it. So it depends upon type of the project. If it is a very project oriented company where it is if your customer, if you don't have agreement that you will not pay based on the fluctuations in the market, if he is not taking care of it, it makes sense that bulk material purchases make sense because you have to leverage that one. But if customer is willing to take care of that market fluctuations, then obviously just in time may help. So this is what my understanding.
Okay, true. Okay.
So one addition to Vinitra, see, this came out from 1940 and 50 after Second World War. Japan had a very bad economic situation. They could not stock all the items, which cost them good inventory cost. Have you heard inventory cost?
Yeah, right.
So you are telling much cheaper to buy, but storing that and maintaining has a big cost. I believe you counted that. Also, the more you store, more it becomes scrap. So there is a cost involved to that, procuring bulk, maintaining it, and fitting in exactly to a system. Over a period of time, some material will not be usable. Raw material becomes unusable. So there are some costs involved into all this factor. You have to consider all this cost. You cannot tell only the buying invoice what you saw. You have to see the maintenance cost. Some cost is there. Now, Japan found this is very expensive for them by the time because of Second World War. Then they found a system that you buy only on the need base. That doesn't mean only today morning will go and buy something for a breakfast. No. You know what you're going to have food at least 2 days before. You will have something in your refrigerator. But I'm not going to stock everything in my refrigerator. I know at least for next 2-3 days what I want. The minimal, the needed, work in progress, what is needed, minimal, which is being pulled in, just in time concept. As Krishna said, I will not tell all the industry need it, but majority of the industry following this. The reason is the moment you order something and get it, not the last minute, but you know there is an order needed and you will do this few weeks or months back. But the point is you reduce the inventory cost, you reduce the scrap cost, you reduce some of the unusable products. The products becomes unusable. You bulk it out. Rather, you go with a small cycle, chances are you can make some corrections and they can even fix it and give it the new product. For this reason, Japan started following this. Okay, that's where the inventory thing came up. So now this is applicable in the IT industry very highly, where we are not doing work all at a time. We're taking only a portion of it and we do that work and deliver it and get the feedback from the customer. Based on that in IT, they keep tweaking the work. So you don't accumulate all the work in the same place, rather you put a limit called work in process. So under the lean umbrella, you come with a Kanban. That's why it goes in. Now let me listen to you. You thought only the cost factor is the way you think pull is bad, or something else also popping up?
No, Sriram. So why I asked this question is like, so when I was doing it, we were actually importing a lot of raw materials. So it was always beneficial when we know that particular raw material doesn't have an expiry date. So we always preferred, say, for example, it's a polyester. It doesn't have a expiry date. So we felt importing it, there are a lot of cost involved when you import things, right? So we felt bulking it and storing was much better than.
That makes sensible.
Yeah.
That makes sensible, right?
So,
something you would have expiry, it will be going to be all the same. Yes, you can do that. Nothing stops you.
So that's why I asked, so how does pull going to...
Imagine here, you watch out here, eliminate waste. Imagine you are not purchasing in a bulk. You are going to purchase every time. Now this every time, if you do this, it's going to have a time, money, errors, that can become a waste. Possible. See, lean is not forcing you something. Lean gives an idea. By the way, these are the core concepts of lean. It says eliminate waste, empower the team to do the work, deliver it faster to the market, optimize as a whole. Optimize as a whole. Don't try to improve only one department. Build the quality in, defer decisions. You will keep it decision as and when it is needed. You can even go for it. Amplify the learning. These are some of the core concepts of lean. Under this umbrella, you get all those concepts what you're discussing. So when you say eliminate waste, some of the extra work, extra process is a waste. If you're not going to purchase in a bulk, but you're going to purchase it multiple times, even though the material will not change, it's also waste. So it's a trade-off where you have to see which is good for you, right? You cannot blindly tell all is good, but point here is how effective a system is. If you're going to buy in a bulk that you're going to save time and money, yeah, go for it. Nothing stops. But the industry where it came from is it came from manufacturing industry. In manufacturing industry, many things which they inventory it, store it in the system. Storage cost was heavy. Maintenance cost was heavy. Why should I maintain everything in my system which is available 50 kilometers from my place? We are not living in a world which is not available. You can take it within 2 days, it will come to your place. Then why should I store? I should have a cool storage place. I have to keep everything. Are we all moving to Amazon cloud? Why? I don't need a storage place to maintain. I will just give the money, Amazon will maintain it. That's what we're doing right now. That's a case many companies started moving out. They don't want to keep it with them. That saves a lot of money, lot of error and problems. If that is not there in your case, yes, you can go for it. That's a message. Hope that helps you.
Yeah, got it.
All right, good. Nice. Any more questions? All right, good. Hey, thanks a lot for everyone participating. Good questions, good interactions. Let's keep it up. As Agile is always open, no defined rules here. So we will have more conversation going forward. Let's keep up this momentum. Have a good time. See you all soon in the next class. We'll be updating you on the class details in the WhatsApp group. And let's keep up the momentum for reading, writing, and posting. Okay? Good wishes. See you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shri.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Thank you all.
Thank you.